Yo, 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 hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Andrewcast. And today's episode is brought to you by Buck2. Let me take a second and tell you about Buck2, what Buck2 is. Buck2 is an American fashion brand inspired by art and urban culture. You see, they blend Afro-inspired art and urban aesthetics to create unique and one-of-a-kind product that you will not find anywhere else in the world. As a brand, they want to see every authentic aspect of you, the customer, within their products. They are striving to create and awaken the culturally elevated through quality clothing that reflects you, again, the customer. Buck2 is really awesome. I had the honor of having Chris, the CEO, on our podcast, and he's a really, really good guy. And his product is really awesome too. I bought some of their merchandise before I had Chris on the show, and I was really happy with it. So, today, what I can do for you, the listener, is I'm going to hook you up real quick. If you go to the Buck2 website and you go to checkout and you put in the code Andrewcast39, that's all caps, Andrewcast, and then the number 39, you get 10% off your order. 10%. That's what I can do for you, the viewer, 10% off. So, going over to Buck2.co, all you got to do is Google it, Buktu, to get you some Afro urban clothing. It's awesome. It's stylish. It's highly artistic. Great products. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Buck2. Thank you, Andrewcast listeners. And enjoy the show. Andrewcast 44. We're back. I feel like it's been a while.
You can't just say people are dead because you don't like what they're doing.
Yeah, let's just jump right into it.
I didn't mean it dead.
No introductions today. Let's jump right into it. So yeah, what's your beef with Dunkey? I love Dunkey, by the way.
Dunkey's cool, man, but like,
Big fan.
I understand satire and shit. But
You were mad about the King of Hearts video?
bro, it just rubbed me the wrong way.
It's funny.
Because he intertwines facts
With fiction?
lies.
Isn't that like what his whole channel's about, though?
Yeah, but the thing is, people can check him on the Spiderman thing because they know the truth
But-
about Spiderman. But not a lot.
What
of
did he
people.
lie about?
Bro, when he was talking about Organization 13, and it just rubbed me the wrong way.
No, it was funny, man, because as soon as I clicked it, I was like, oh, he's going to make fun of the whole story. And the story is so easy to make fun of, and it should be made fun of. But then, like, he started off really serious, and I was like, I see what he's doing. He's going to drop it, like, last minute, and that's what he did. He's like, the main series antagonist, Puma from Lion King.
I was like, God, are you Dunkey? That
Dude,
sounded exactly like him.
I-
How many videos do you watch of Dunkey?
I love Dunkey. I actually, like, rediscovered Dunkey 2 weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, these videos are right. Like, I was watching the Mario one where they were doing the, on the Switch. What's that game?
Super Mario. What did I say? Super Mario Odyssey?
I wanted to say Odyssey. That's why I don't. Okay, yeah, it is Odyssey. So, yeah, doing the balloon challenge, I love watching those videos. But, yeah, when I saw the Kingdom Hearts one today, I was laughing. But my favorite Dunkey thing of all time, because I'm a huge Sonic Mania fan, that's actually my favorite video game of 2017.
Yeah.
Hot take.
So, in one of the stages, I think it's aquatic. I forget which one it's
Aquatic Zone?
No, I see now everyone's gonna be mad
It's
because
Aquatic
I
Zone,
get this
right?
wrong.
Green Hill Zone, then Aquatic Zone.
Come
There was
on,
that
man.
Marble Zone in Sonic 1 where the fire.
Yeah, that's
It's like
all Sonic
stage-
1, but I'm
stage two.
talking about Sonic Mania.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
I forget what it's called.
There's
but,
a difference, everyone.
There's a speed bump that grabs you by the top of your head and like
has your character running and then lets you go. And in one of Dunkey's videos, he like recorded footage of that happening in the game. And when it lets the character go, he goes, "Yee!" And
He does that for so many things, though.
hold on.
All right, I'm holding.
Sonic Team watched that video and thought it was so funny that they actually put that in Sonic Mania.
Wait,
So,
really?
yeah. So if you go to one of the speed bumps that he showed in the video, and you have to be Knuckles, and if you're Knuckles and you go through it, it plays the voice clip from Dunkey.
Hold up.
Yee.
Was Dunkey the one that made that thing? No, I mean Spider made that thing, but
Was
like
he the one that made that
whole-
meme? No,
Yeah,
no, that was another YouTuber that was recording VR chat. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Dunkey. But so what
Why
happened?
Knuckles?
Because Knuckles is like the butt of the joke for everybody in the Sonic
he's
community.
a meme.
I love
Yeah, he's-
Knuckles.
he's the living
Knuckles is my favorite character in Sonic.
I love Knuckles too. What happened with
Personally.
the re-release though is that I guess the Japanese wing of Sonic Team saw that Easter egg and they didn't think it was funny, so now they took it out of the re-release. But it was in the original.
Donkey's
and I
hit
think
or
that's
miss,
so
man.
amazing.
So wait,
I love Donkey, bro.
the American team
yeah,
does not have autonomy, I guess, to add things to the game. Like Sega in Japan has the final say as to what goes in, what goes out, even in an American release. That's what you're saying.
So what happened with Sonic Mania was Sonic Mania came out in 2017, and it was developed by a lot of Westerners here, so it was more Westerner free range. But this year in 2018, they re-released it under Sonic Plus, and they released that physical edition in Japan. So they didn't want the Easter egg for Japanese people to have, so they took it out of both copies of the game.
But like, do you think Japanese people know who Dunkey is?
Yes,
They have to.
yes.
Are you sure?
He's an internet sensation.
Dude, I go into
Sean.
the description of his videos and I see how many like
You see
translators there
Japanese
are.
characters,
Mhm.
kanji.
There's like translators, for like
Yeah, but-
a whole different nation.
Yeah, but every major YouTuber has that though.
That's what my point is, that people know who Dunkey is, man. And I don't know. I love his video. I
Like,
thought the Kingdom Hearts video was so
wouldn't
funny.
the
dude.
Japanese
It was
population
funny.
have loved that?
Maybe if they got it. I think Japanese people are more stoic about their IPs. So I think they're just like,
What do you mean IP?
let's not intellectual property. Let's not like clown Sonic like that. Let's not put this.
How do you
this
think they're
silly
gonna
thing in the
handle
game.
Kingdom Hearts?
What do you mean? Tetsuya Nomura?
No. I'm saying like it's like the same thing. I don't know. It didn't like piss me off, but then I had two people that I know. They're like, "Oh, look at this video by Dunkey. This is 9% fact." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." No, it's not. And then they're like, "Yeah, dude, confused." I'm like, "You never played it."
Kingdom Hearts should be made fun of though. The storyline is convoluted.
It
This
should
is
be
coming from a huge fan.
Yeah,
it's
same.
It's
very
a little
convoluted.
ridiculous, but then again, it's a world set in Disney.
Yeah, it's
No,
Disney
Yeah,
worlds
but
with
not even
music
'cause
that
if you really think about it, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Everything that they explain, it makes sense.
yeah,
If you watch a breakdown video, someone who does a tree, it makes sense.
yeah.
But to everyone's like, "Oh, it's a Disney game," and then it's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Final Fantasy."
The
And
thing
it's
is that you have to
convoluted.
buy into the story, and sometimes it's hard to buy into the story when Mickey Mouse is like this badass keyblade wielding motherfucker that just like owns everyone.
I
Meanwhile, your
think-
party's like Donald and Goofy.
I always thought that was part of the appeal. Like I always thought that Mickey Mouse like flying around with a Keyblade and defeating Heartless is very much akin to Yoda in Star Wars Episode 2, like flying around with a lightsaber. I feel like that's almost like shot for shot kind of their inspiration. I think the main withdrawal from the Kingdom Hearts story though is that it's a very huge story spread out
massive.
through a bunch of games that at the time were on different platforms before they all congregated on PlayStation. So it was massively difficult to understand unless you had some sort of YouTube video that would pin it all together. And on top of that, this is just the first arc. This is called the Darkseeker arc. So after Kingdom Hearts 3, apparently Tetsuya Nomura is going to start another story. Maybe it won't even have Sora or any of the characters we know. Maybe it won't even be Disney.
This really
but
does
it's
sound
just
like
I hope
this-
they break away from
It's
Disney.
deep, man.
You're,
It's deep.
you're comparing Mickey to Yoda. You're really making me think this was Disney's Star Wars before Disney bought Star Wars.
No, I
close.
you could say that, man, because they're traveling to different worlds, and
The
like
knights.
Keyblade wielders are kind of like Jedi if you think about it, like Keyblade masters.
They're
There's
planning on
lot of
starting a new
similarities.
story with new characters
Yeah.
in the
I
same universe.
I honestly think that because it's taken them a very longer than it should ever take for a game made by a major studio to take 13 years to get the third game. I feel like Disney might kind of pull out if they continue after this one. They just might go, okay, like we got it. But if they create a new saga, if you guys create a new saga, I think you guys should go a different route. Maybe take the
But it
Disney
makes
characters
so
out.
much money for them though. They would never stop
But
doing
here's
it.
the
Yeah.
thing: they built such a strong story without the Disney characters in it. Like if you take Maleficent out, the Ansem storyline and his Zen art is like really good.
Yeah.
I like it. And Organization 13.
No,
I like it.
it's
So I
solid,
think they
man.
could, but if they start in another whatever, I think it could work.
Well, think about this. What if okay, so it starts over again. This time it's not Sora. It's some kid. I don't know. We'll call him like Kingsley or something like that. Similar, right? Gets a keyblade, has to go to different worlds. All the worlds are different Nintendo games.
Or different
Well,
Final
wait.
Fantasies, which could have worked, which they did.
Could they
But-
do that? Could Square Enix do that and then just switch it over to Nintendo? Because like
Maybe if-
Sony would never let
Nah,
that
If
happen.
Sony
Nintendo
would
was
never let
if
that
Nintendo
ride.
was cool with it, I don't know. Sega and Nintendo.
Oh,
got
you're
together.
saying that Nintendo gives Sony or gives Square Enix
Yeah.
the rights to use Nintendo worlds.
Yeah. What if the next arc of Kingdom Hearts doesn't necessarily
I
have to
think
be
it's too
Disney?
expensive.
What if it's
Too
another
expensive.
IP?
That
That would
IP.
change. That would literally change the entire
Because
idea
the
of the
thing- the
series,
thing-
which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, but you gotta
But
remember
it
the
would
reason,
change.
the reason that it works for Kingdom Hearts is because a lot of the IPs are very old, so
Yeah.
they're cheap. You know what I mean?
With the
It's the
Pixar
same-
ones, it's like
Well, you think of Ready Player One. All the references in that movie, all the IPs in it.
I don't know how they did that.
A lot of them. I looked this up. A lot of them are over 30 years old. So it's
Chucky
like-
and Gundam and stuff
So,
like
Yeah,
that.
I was
so
thinking
as
Gundam.
they age, obviously, to use them in your film becomes cheaper. So they had close to.
It's insane.
I don't even know.
Mechagodzilla
100.
too. That was old.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
The only new one I could recognize in there that was like less than like 10 years was the Suicide Squad and
Wait,
Overwatch.
what?
It was
Suicide Squad
Overwatch.
was in that movie?
Overwatch is
Yeah,
in
they
it.
had what's Will Smith's character's name?
Deadshot.
Deadshot and Harley Quinn in the uniforms from.
That's really cool. I don't
I
see
did
Suicide
that.
not see
Squad.
that.
It's the part when he gets the new suit and he walks into the club,
Oh, okay.
and when he's walking in, they're walking out.
Fun fact: I haven't seen the movie.
Fun fact: I saw that movie on a plane. It was all right.
I saw it in Dolby.
You can take it or leave it.
I saw it in Dolby. Ooh, you just reminded me of something. But I saw it in Dolby. It's one of those movies, Steven Spielberg. You have to see it in the theater.
But my
Yeah.
cousin read the book and said that the movie sucks compared to the book. Like if you read the
Oh,
book
but
and then
it's-
saw the movie, you know
How do you?
not
How do
gonna
you?
so
be
How do you?
different.
That's what I'm saying. How
You
do you?
can't put that book in a movie because the game that they were playing, no one would watch the movie.
Right. How do you capture all that visual nuance in the trailer in a book? Like imagine writing that out, and then the Gundam robot mobile suit shows up and fights the Iron Giant.
Well, there's
but
not even a
before-
Gundam in
No,
the
but-
book. You know, it's
Oh,
like
really?
a totally
Book-
different
in the book.
story.
They're playing, it's like they're in a board game.
Oh, so it's more
So I
generic.
think it was like D&D
Okay.
or something like that.
Well, it's like no, it's the same concept, but like the challenges and the riddles are all different. So
Oh.
they never went to what was it, the Shining?
Shining.
Yeah, they never went to the
That was
Shining in the
fire,
book.
bro.
It was pretty cool.
That was fire.
I
'cause
thought it was
it
pretty
looked-
cool because
It looks so real.
well, let's talk about what are we talking about real? Like, it looked like the movie.
Yes,
It
that's,
looked-
that's what I meant. It looked like the movie, like shot for shot.
Really?
They
Yeah, it was very
recreated it,
strange.
and it was all CGI.
But then,
it
like,
looked
they-
like, I don't know. It was
Well,
like-
yeah, then
they
they
go
mo-
into the
They
Shining.
moved from the
Dude,
original
so cool.
shot with like a character added. That's what I believe actually anyway. And then somehow they transitioned to like a whole new frame
So you
where
think they masked it, where they just put the new character, masked it over?
I
the
think they
old
started with the original video
one. Yeah.
Right.
and audio, and then
They-
so like transition into their own creation. However, they did it. It looked exactly the same as the original video.
Yeah. I still. I
Even
got.
the part
I
when
gotta
she
watch
got
this.
out the shower, I was like, "What?"
Shella was like, "What?"
Dude, no, because I'm like, dude, this looks
What?
just like the movie. It was like the exact movie, like the graininess of it too. I'm like, dude, this is so weird.
I had
Like tripping me out.
an ideal day planned. I wanted to go see that movie, and then go to the Franklin Institute video game thing, and then end it by going to Barcade. Like that'd be the ultimate day, you know. I never got to do it, but I still have to see that
You
movie.
know, there's
man.
still time.
Is the video game thing still going on at Franklin Institute?
I
I
don't
have
know.
no
Barcade is definitely still a thing.
If it is, let's make a day of it, man.
Screw it, dude.
But,
On
um,
Saturday or Sunday.
For
But
sure.
anyway, like Kingdom Hearts, Dunkey. Tell us more about it.
No, that just I don't know. Like I like his videos, but that one I'm like it just bothers me because then I have people who like Dunkey who never played Kingdom Hearts
Yeah,
or ever will play Kingdom Hearts. Like this is 90% true. It's like no, it's not.
dude, it's not for everybody.
Yeah,
And
it's
a lot of it for me is like, I'm not sure if I talked about this before, but nostalgia glasses. So in 2006, like Kingdom Hearts was amazing. Then when I played it again when I was like 21, 22, I was like, man, 75% of this game is cutscene, which isn't bad.
Which one are we talking?
It's Kingdom Hearts 2, just like
Kingdom Hearts
yeah.
2.
And I was just like, man, like there's gameplay and it's challenging and it's fun,
Mhm.
but there's
the one that you can't play in 2018. I'll name the ones you can play because they just did not age well. Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 1.
See, I would disagree. I'd say Kingdom Hearts 1 is a timeless classic.
And
Dude,
I
they
really
don't
love
give you a
Chain of
dodge
Memories
or a roll.
personally. I thought on the
Dude.
Game Boy Advance, I loved it.
Yeah, but that
But I've
ages
never got,
well.
I was gonna say, well, you just said it didn't.
When I'm referring to it didn't, I'm talking about the Final Mix one.
Okay.
The Final Mix one's not the same game. It's like literally like Kingdom Hearts 1.
It is,
but
yeah.
spliced down a little bit.
Yeah, when you replay the Chain of Memories remake in 3D, like for PS2 or PS3, it does feel like a rehash. But the cutscenes are really cool because you get to see a lot of Organization 13 stuff. So it's more if like you're really into the story, then I would recommend the remake.
Fighting is so weird,
Dude, and you do get a dodge roll in Kingdom Hearts 1. You just don't get it till later.
which is annoying because Kingdom Hearts 2 they give
Bro,
you.
That's the biggest.
That's the
That's the
smallest
biggest.
handheld to
That's
get
the
over it.
biggest critique that
Because when
anyone's
you're
ever
playing
had
on-
about Kingdom Hearts.
when you're
1.
playing on proud
can't
mode
roll.
and you can't roll, that's annoying.
Yeah, but once you get past it, you just got to beat that boss, get the AP points, and put it in, man. But I'd say that probably the weakest of the series is 3582 Days and Recoded, man. Those games.
I forgot about Recoded.
Wasn't Recoded just like a phone game?
It was, but then they ported it to the DS, and I have that port. It's not really that great.
Dude,
also,
352.
352, I stopped playing. That's the only Kingdom Hearts game I didn't beat.
Wait, is it 352 over 2?
358.
358. 358 over 2.
Dash 2.
Dude, that is arguably the second most important game.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And it's
no,
fun to play.
it's more of like the whole Roxas Shion saga, which is
It
like
makes sense
cool.
if you take that out, then we don't have a series.
No, if you take out Birth by Sleep, then you don't have a series because you
course,
don't know
that's the
about the
most
Keyblade.
important
You don't know
game.
about the Keyblade and the Keyblade War, but like this is more about like Shion and who Roxas is and Axel and how like they're a different version of Sora. Like that could be explained with cutscenes. Like Birth by Sleep, I recommend that you play. Like
Yeah, but it makes sense because when Sora killed himself in the first game, that's how you get 358 over 2.
yeah, but that's explained in Kingdom Hearts 2. So it's just like
It's just an in-between.
this podcast is gonna sound like we're taking DMT to anybody's listening who like hasn't played Kingdom Hearts, but. Yeah, so it's really, really clearly spelled out in Kingdom Hearts 2 that when Sora used the unlock Keyblade on his chest, he made a Heartless of himself, which made a nobody of himself. And the nobody is Roxas. And the reason the Roxas looks like Ventus is because when Ventus is missing a piece of his heart, when he was like younger, he merged with Sora's heart when he was unconscious.
And
like just me saying that is like,
That part
oh
doesn't
my
make sense
God.
to me.
It's
That last part
Yeah,
doesn't make sense to
it
me.
makes sense because the more you hear about it and think about it, it makes sense. So like Ventus, when his heart found Sora, so Ventus is inside Sora, right? So when Sora had Kairi's heart inside himself as well, when she phased through him, so he had 3 hearts, right? Himself, Ventus, Kairi. So to save Kairi, to bring her back, he stabbed his heart, but it didn't just stab his heart. It was opened Kairi, released her, it's killed himself, and released Ventus, which then created Roxas, which is a mix of Ventus and Sora.
That's why it's exactly so.
Square
The face that Ryan made sums it up. That's why Dunkey's right for making fun of it.
no,
Kingdom Hearts is hilarious.
No, because you know why?
But-
You know why?
but
You know why
all-
it's fair?
wait,
It's fair.
wait.
I'll give you that. But the same reason is that it's not fair to say is because
He's like-
these games came out 15 years ago, and we never got the conclusion.
It's one of those things like when you say it out loud, it sounds silly. But when you play the game, you're like, I'm really into this. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
And it's a typical Final Fantasy
Right.
story.
Like if I just out loud told you the premise for Attack on Titan, you'd be like, "What are you talking about?" But if I had you watch the anime, you'd be like, "This works."
Yeah,
So,
but people that shit on Kingdom Hearts also love Inception.
they're very similar. Dream Drop Distance is almost like the plot is exactly ripped from Inception. They're going into people's dreams, and then at the end you find out that like everything was inside Sora's dream. You're like, "This is Inception."
and Riku is the only one that becomes a master.
I think that makes sense. He was the one that the Keyblade chose originally, so.
Matt, he's a.
Oh, you're right.
I didn't even.
When
so-
Terra gave him.
Which game is this?
Dream Drop Distance
Drop
is the one
Distance.
that was on the 3DS,
3DS?
that was ported to the PS4 in Kingdom Hearts 2.8.
Okay.
I'm the biggest nerd ever, bro.
Yeah, this is news to me, but I'm really happy because I plan on buying Kingdom Hearts 3. And it seems like I missed
Well,
a
for
lot.
$100, you get every single Kingdom Hearts game included.
You can buy them all for $100 now.
Are you guys pitching to me right now?
No,
Only on PlayStation.
because I've spent well over $100.
I'm 100. I'm probably over like 3.
It makes me sick to think of.
You know how many times I
No,
rebought
I'm not
Kingdom
pitching
Hearts?
you. If I was
Same.
pitching you, I'd tell you to buy the $200 box set.
That's what I did too, man. After this arc, I don't even know. Like, if they start over and I don't like the next arc, I may just be off Kingdom Hearts forever.
I honestly don't think they're. I think this is the conclusion. Like, even though they said it, if they do continue this series and make different games, you can't take 10-year.
Let me ask both of you this question. For someone who hasn't played all of them all the way through, I played Kingdom Hearts 1, I played Chain of Memories, I played Kingdom Hearts 2, and that really ends my Kingdom Hearts fandom besides like watching it on YouTube. Like literally, I didn't want to buy the game, but I still wanted to be involved in the story. So
Right.
I would just go on YouTube and watch the cutscenes.
Yeah.
So I have like a fragmented idea of like what things are going to be like.
Yeah.
But for other people who have only played those 3 games, like which were in the beginning,
which is probably a majority of
people,
yeah.
I would imagine, because they just got older and like they didn't want to buy all these different systems.
Dude,
That's the problem. That's the biggest
they
problem.
got
is
lives,
that it was
man.
over.
It's cool.
No,
They got
no,
lives.
no. That's not what
No,
I'm saying.
the biggest problem.
My-
He's right. The biggest problem is that it was
Yeah.
over 5 different systems.
Literally, like you can't like now. No one like most people aren't gonna buy all these different systems just for
Yeah.
one series. I guess is my point.
Yeah.
Can these people play Kingdom Hearts 3? Do you think, and they'll be able to like pick up with the story?
Me
Or
personally,
will it be
No.
confusing as fuck?
Probably
Confusing
not,
as
but you're
fuck.
gonna have a lot of fun. Like, I recommend it for everybody.
it would be a great game to
I
play.
every second of it.
No,
you're just gonna be
you are.
confused.
You're gonna be in awe playing this game. I can already call it.
I
But
forget
yeah,
how
you're gonna be
2
confused
ends.
a little bit.
I forget how 2 ends, but
Once they
where
enter,
3
2
'cause 3
ends with
picks
them
up-
being Zemnis.
no, two ends with a letter from Mickey that says, "I need your attention right away." And Kairi and Riku and Sora all read it at the same time. They receive it in a bottle.
Yeah,
And in Dream Drop Distance, it's
takes
revealed
place
that
right after.
yeah,
That should've been
that
Kingdom Hearts
letter
3.
was to call them to.
It technically
It was
was.
supposed to be.
Yeah, it technically was.
It
And
technically
then-
was because it says
and then
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Square Enix trolled everybody, even by calling it like Kingdom Hearts
3D.
3D.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dream
fuck
Drop
them. Are you
Distance.
serious?
Yeah,
Yeah. But that's who they are, man.
That's
They've
Square, man.
they've
That's
re-released
Square.
the same games 3 times. So you have,
And you know
for
what?
example,
It just sells.
yeah, that's why. So we have Kingdom Hearts, we have Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, which I went to Japan in 2012 and bought a copy of that game because I'm like, there's no way it'll ever come to the States. 5 years later, Kingdom Hearts
1.5
Kingdom
Final
Hearts
Mix.
Remix, which is Final Mix.
Final Mix,
So
right.
that's 3 versions of the game right there, and I bought all 3.
Mm-hmm.
But then that only came out for the PS3. Then they made the PS4 Final Mix, so I'm
Yep.
gonna have to buy the PS4 Final Mix.
Yep.
Now I
And
have
then-
it.
Then 2.8.
Square Enix, they're sneaky,
you
but
are-
also I'm a
you are
weeb, bro. I'm
The
a
most
weeb.
diehard fan I've
Mm-hmm.
ever met, and I love it. I love it. This is fantastic.
There's
But
3 video games that changed my life forever. The first one is Sonic the Hedgehog 3. That's the first video game I ever played. The second one is Final Fantasy 7, and the third one is Kingdom Hearts. So I have a massive respect for
7.
the original Kingdom Hearts.
Wow.
Yeah, that game was
You know, it's
Did
the
you
one
ever-
for me that
Final
changed my
Fantasy
life.
10. Of course,
Dude,
man.
I've
I
never-
could see it on your face.
And like, see, that's like for a lot of people, that's like the easy answer. Final Fantasy, it's either 7 or 10. People are like, oh, of course it is. But it's like, no, you don't understand at what time period these games came out and what they did in those games. That doesn't even happen today.
Well, it's 2003. Like, there is a
For 10?
serious,
For
serious
10.
lack
might,
of.
might have been 2002.
Which is a lack of
Which one came
RPG?
first, Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy 10? I think it was Final Fantasy
Kingdom
10.
Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts came out in 04.
Kingdom Hearts came out second, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're right,
So,
2003.
2003.
And Final Fantasy 7 was 1998.
Final Fantasy 7 was 1997, classically. So
Fitting.
yeah. So there was not a lot of good games on the PS2 back then,
Yeah.
and Final Fantasy 10 just blew everybody away. It was awesome,
Bro, like
so
the
good.
thing about 3D open world and just a story that expanded out.
Cutscenes, graphics,
All on one
horrible
disc.
voice acting. Yeah,
All
all on
on
one
Isn't
one
that
disc.
isn't that all Final Fantasy is though?
Yeah, no, it is.
All of them.
Oh,
All of
it
them
is.
is what?
Yeah, it's
Or just like pretty graphics, bad acting,
bad
or bad
voice acting.
acting.
Nah, the acting
it's
got
part of
better.
the charm. It got better.
It got
but,
better significantly.
Well, I mean, we're getting so nerdy on this podcast. They re-released those games for the PS3 and PS4.
yeah,
I have
you're
the
right.
PS4 version. And they fixed a lot of the stuff that was bad. So, have you ever seen the Titus laugh? It's internet famous. So there's a character, Titus, and he's the main character.
Oh, yeah,
and he's-
actually.
The
he goes
tituous
to Cliff and he
character.
goes
Yeah.
and
They changed it.
yeah,
Just
they changed it in the later.
It's funny because
version.
like I can't like I know what you're talking about. You know,
Yeah.
like I've
You
watched
have
that.
faint ideas of
I
it.
know
yeah.
I
A lot,
watched
lot
that.
of anime kind of make fun of it too. They do
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah, so I mean, those games for the stuff that are like the building blocks of my childhood and my love for, I guess, geeky culture, I have a lot of respect for. So yeah, I'm a Kingdom Hearts collector, dude. I'm a Kingdom Hearts collector.
I
Yes.
thought you were flipping everyone off. Like,
Nah,
Yeah, bro. I'm
do
I'm
that.
with you
I
there.
love
I
you
bought
guys.
true, it's a podcast.
I bought the same game so many times.
Yeah,
But I'll do that for like a company, you know what I mean? Like Naughty Dog, Square Enix.
Naughty
Oh,
Dog.
dude, you put it out. If you could report the same game 3 times. Guess what? Guess who has 4 copies?
The only thing I've like rebought was like collection series. Like I rebought a Sonic collection series back in the day. I think it was like the GameCube Sonic collection series.
Oh, Sonic Gems, yeah.
Oh my god, he
Sonic
knows.
Gems.
My
Dude,
man's
you-
quick.
you know the
My man is
cartoons.
quick.
You
Yeah,
know the
Oh
cartoons,
yeah,
I
of
know.
course. I like.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Sonic Gems is the only.
And then the Mega
yeah.
Man collection series, the Mega Man X collection.
Okay.
I remember I had originally bought the regular Mega Man
I was
collection.
so bad at them.
Yeah,
They're
I didn't
hard.
really like the original Mega Man. I thought it was a Mega Man X one, and I bought
Bro.
it, and I was disappointed.
Let's talk about Mega Man. Mega Man is awesome, but Mega Man X, when you can dash and jump up walls,
The fucking best.
game changes.
The fucking
bro.
best.
Game
That's
changes.
the same. I went from Mega Man X, and I tried playing the regular Mega Man. I couldn't do it.
No, bro, you
I
got
couldn't
that
do it.
slide, and you can't
Yeah.
slide into your jump.
It's not fun.
Nah.
You ever play the Mega Man Zeros series?
Oh yeah.
That was a cool.
Those
one.
are sick.
That one I beat all. Like there was like 3 of them, I think, and I
Did you
beat
play-
all of them 100%.
Did you play Mighty Number 9, or is that you weren't into that?
The game was terrible.
Mighty Number
We
9.
won't even talk about it then.
Horrible.
Is it
That's
that
the only
bad?
one I played, and I was like, this game sucks.
Is it that bad?
So what happened?
They just fucked
I'm gonna
everything
butcher
up.
this story. Capcom didn't want to make any more Mega Man games for some reason. So the guy who made Mega Man went on what's not Patreon, what's the one I always forget? Kickstart. And he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna make a spiritual successor to Mega Man. It's gonna be called Mighty Number 9. It's gonna be
Yeah,
sick."
I do know what you're talking about.
Years.
Terrible.
Years we waited, man. Like 6. Like I say we. I'm not a big Mega Man fan, but I was curious. People put a lot of money into it when it came out. It was just awful.
I think I was at
trash.
GameStop when it came out, and like they had the blaster that they were selling
Yeah,
along
yeah.
with the game, and like people through the line was out the door. Man, same people that were waiting in line for the game, the next day were the same ones trying to return the game.
The
But these
biggest
games
letdown.
have a nostalgia feeling to them. They have a nostalgia, like they won't work by themselves. They
No.
are at the right place at the right time.
You're right.
And it's fun because people remember them being fun.
Yeah, it's a good point. And that's totally true for a lot of games, but in this scenario, the game itself actually was pretty bad. But
Yeah,
then,
this is actually pretty horrible.
no, it
This
was
game
trash.
is in fact pretty bad.
But then Mega Man 11's coming out, so if you have a hankering for classic Mega Man, play that. I played it on the Switch this weekend. It was so good. I played it. I was at a friend's party and
I have
he had a
2
Switch
games
there.
on the Switch. About to add a third. My collection on the Switch is just empty.
Do you have a Switch? Do you even play games anymore?
Not really. I have
I
an
can't play
Xbox
games.
One, and Dragon Ball Z. I play Dragon Ball Z Fighter sometimes. but,
Android
like-
17 is coming this week. Same thing with Cooler.
Oh yeah, but though, like, really, okay, you want to like hear shit that fucking pisses me off? You have all this DLC. You can have all these fucking characters in the
Oh,
DBZ
I know it's
universe.
coming. I
You
know
can
it's
have
coming.
all of these super characters that everyone wants and everyone's heard of and everyone's excited for, and they have some of them.
Drop
we
the
can- don't get me
bomb,
wrong.
drop it.
But they don't have Jiren,
Yeah, that sucks.
which is what everyone wanted.
Yeah, I want you.
I didn't fucking watch Dragon Ball Super like that, and I wanted Jiren
Yeah.
because he was a cool character, right? Like, why not? Instead, you're gonna give me fucking Cooler, who's a villain of a fucking movie in the '90s
Not
with like
canon.
their like rock music that they play
Oh,
with.
hey, people love Cooler. Crawling in my
Yeah,
skin.
why is
Linkin
Linkin
Park?
Park in the fucking movie?
I don't know.
Like,
Frieza's brother.
but all right, I can forgive all of that, but you're really gonna end the DLC with Cooler, which not one of my favorite villains. It looks like he's just a repeat of Frieza, in my opinion.
Okay.
Exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Yeah.
And Android 17, who's already
MVP.
like an assist character with
With 18.
Yeah,
Which is kind of redundant.
it's pretty stupid in my opinion. And the base Goku,
Goku
and
and
Vegeta.
Vegeta. I knew
Come
that's what
on,
you were gonna say.
you could have, of course, because everyone's saying it.
Yeah.
It's not a secret. But like, I don't know, man. It's just like
So
they
I,
could have done so much more.
I have 2 theories before you say what you guys say, Sheldon. My first theory is that those characters were the easiest to make because they were based off of surviving models of characters that were already in game. So Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, same thing with Vegeta. That's why we have the base forms, because they're very similar, and it was just easier to build them off the pre-existing models. Same thing with 17. Since there was already a 17 model with 18, it was just easier to make. My second theory is, and I hope this one is right, is that this is only the first season of DLC for FighterZ, and that we're going to have a second season, and that second season is going to be much better because Xenoverse is still adding characters to the game. Like, they just had Kefla and Baby come out, and like Xenoverse 2 has been out for like, what, 3 years now?
2.
Okay, but that's still a long time to have DLC. So I think we're going to see a lot more characters in FighterZ. But
Maybe-
I'm right. You're right, though. This first season was not good.
Maybe just due to the popularity of the game, I can tell on like gaming tournaments, like DBZ Fighter has become a very popular one.
Yeah.
I
up
can
there.
see that. The only reason I think maybe not is because of like that leak, of that code leak where they guessed all the characters to begin with, and they only had those 8. So that's the only thing that's keeping me from saying yes, there's a possibility of a season 2.
It's true. I mean, I can see that, but then again, that code leak also revealed that there's going to be a 9th season of DLC for Xenoverse 2, which is going to have the Broly from the new movie and Gogeta from the new movie.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And if there's going to be a 9th season of Xenoverse DLC, we at least have to get a second season of FighterZ stuff.
I'm not arguing with
2
you.
different
Yeah.
companies, though.
That's true.
So,
But I would argue this, and you're a game guy, so feel free to pose whatever you got to say. I think FighterZ is the best 2D. We're not talking Tekken.
fighter, you saved it right there by saying that.
fighter game that you can get, because Tekken is awesome, but like it's the best 2D fighting game right now on any modern system you can buy. It's so good.
Street Fighter. Street Fighter's
Very
still king,
pretty,
man.
too.
It's still king. Like,
It's just not as fast, man. Like Marvel vs. Capcom dropped the ball this year or
I think
last year.
Oh,
me
Infinite, yeah.
personally,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not
I think why DBZ, that fighters whatever the hell it's called, is really successful is because it takes the Street Fighter formula, cranks it up by 10.
Yeah, it makes it a little more mobile, a little more limber.
Not even just that, because what's it called? Street Fighter was very one way. You need to go forward or back.
Yeah.
DBZ, you can go behind them.
Yeah.
You can zip. You can chain a lot of stuff. So
You
there's
can
a lot of
dash.
potential carpal tunnel coming. But
How was that new Naruto game?
fire!
Did you play it?
No.
I got it.
Oh, you didn't play it? You
No.
love Naruto.
I do love
Shinobi
Naruto.
Strikers?
Yeah, but like I saw the beta when it first came out, and I wasn't that into it.
Is it a fighting game?
It's like
Bro.
kind of like a team-based game, I think.
Is it?
Yeah,
It's like teams of 4, and
4v4.
there's like a distance fighter, there's a close-up chorus fighter, there's a mid-range fighter,
Sounds cool.
and
No, it's a defense, healer,
excuse me,
defense, healer, attack, and range.
Okay.
You had them though.
take it away, please.
But I played the beta as well, and I was like, dude, I'm not getting this. This is just a cash cow. This is not gonna be anything. I didn't like the art style, right? So 6 months later, the game comes out. I'm watching Afro Senju. I'm watching people
yeah.
on
He's
YouTube
the
talk
best.
about it. I'm like, yo, they made the graphics a little bit better. They changed some of the combat. They still need to work on it because the game has significant server issues. I don't get that. I don't understand how in 2018 some of these games are having server issues when you know that fan base that's playing the game, not that big.
Did it come out for Xbox and PlayStation?
Xbox, PlayStation,
Oh, okay.
and I
Well.
think it's coming to Switch
All right.
eventually. But
Everything always comes out on the Switch eventually.
That's
it's
what
just,
everyone's
it's just
saying.
hard, man.
But I'm
It's
waiting to see
hard.
stuff. Like, I can't buy Dragon Quest until it comes out
Well,
on
did you
the
see
Switch.
all the Final Fantasies are bringing right to Xbox and Switch? Did you see that?
I
last
believe it
week?
when I see it. It's just taking so
So-
long. For
so-
all
Final
this to happen.
Fantasy, I thought
Yeah.
Sony held like a monopoly on them.
They did,
And what happened?
guess what, man? When you don't renew your contract with the IPs,
I don't know, because
Get
there's some
out
Final
there.
Fantasies that came out on the DS, like Final Fantasy IV
that's
remake.
different because but it's a port.
I guess.
That's not a like. So what we're
would this
getting?
be?
No, these are all ports. They're
Okay.
all ports. So you got 7 coming to the Switch,
Yeah.
which I'm excited for because it's gonna be on one cartridge and I can play it in my bed,
Yeah.
and that's a perfect game for a handheld. You got
Man, I can't wait.
that's coming 2019. You have there's 5 games coming from now till summer of next year. Final Fantasy, I think 12. So 7 and 12 are coming to Xbox and Switch. Then there's a couple other ones. I forget what they were.
Shit, maybe I'll
But-
buy that.
Yeah, it looks
Final
nice.
Fantasy 7 sounds like it would be fun.
Yeah,
Never
because
played the
it's
original.
fun. Well, dude, it's hard to play the original because it's 5 disc.
Yeah.
What?
Well, it's actually 4.
Wait,
four?
what? The
Four.
original came on 5 discs?
It's 4,
Four.
yeah, and it's for
What about today?
PlayStation 1.
Today, you can get it digitally.
Well,
you
you
can't
can-
get it physical.
Kids don't steal, but if you hack your PSP, you can put a PlayStation 1 emulator on it and then just play it through an emulator. Which
But you
is
still
how I
have
did
to
it.
switch the
Well,
disc on.
my question
Yeah,
is
but
that
it's
if they
all
like
digital.
remade it for the Xbox One, would it take like 5 discs still?
No, it's gonna be a
No.
big download, but it's on.
You can also buy it on the PlayStation Store if you
Right
want.
now.
If you have a PS3,
and 4.
So how long was Final Fantasy 7?
long.
Like how long's long?
What would you say, 200? At
200
that time,
hours?
I must have spent at least 130 hours on it.
I would say each disc was about 40 to 50 hours on it.
It's a long game, but there's a lot of stuff is optional, so it's as long as you want it
A
to be.
lot is optional.
But there's still a lot. Yeah, I
But
love
that's
the
the type of
music.
game where if you don't do those optional side quests, you're gonna get
Yeah.
murked on those bosses.
I'll just briefly touch on this game before I talk about Spider-Man because that's really what I want to talk about.
I beat it.
Final Fantasy VII's not all right. Well, I want to get your thing on it. But Final Fantasy VII's not a perfect game, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's like the best RPG ever." It's not. I like it. A lot of it, again, is due to nostalgia. The music, the feel. It's not perfect. When you play it, it feels old, and it hasn't. It hasn't aged well.
Terribly.
I'll be honest with you. It's aged terribly. It's just a classic experience, man. For me, it makes me feel like a kid again.
Mhm.
It reminds me of being young. You know what I'm saying? And I love it because of that, dude. It's also just something cool to just play in your bed, like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said. You know, it's one of those games that's like if it's a rainy day and like you don't feel like turning the lights on in your
Fire it
room,
up.
put Final Fantasy VII on, just have that
And
classic.
the
music
remake
playing.
is coming eventually. We just don't know when.
But if you're gonna experience it firsthand, just put it on something handheld, so you don't have to torture yourself by sitting in front of a TV
Yeah,
to
I'll
play.
take it a
So
Switch.
you said it's not your favorite RPG. So what is the best RPG?
Oh, I don't think it is the best RPG.
So what is?
That's such a difficult question. Dragon Quest VIII for me is like one of the best RPGs ever made. It's so
Is
good
that recent?
for PS2. No, that came out in like 2006, I think. And that also came out for the 3DS. So if you want to play a really good JRPG with voice acting, amazing story, designed by Akira Toriyama, the guy that made Dragon Ball, and arguably my favorite Dragon Quest VIII is one of the best RPGs ever made. But so Spider-Man was the fastest selling game of all time. It sold 2 million copies in one day, I think it was. Am I getting that number right?
And I think in a week it was close to I think it's close to 10. You could check that.
That's crazy. And, you know, it looked like I haven't played it. So
Me neither.
Preface to that, I
You have
haven't
a
played it.
PlayStation?
It looks like
You have a PlayStation?
no, I have an Xbox.
Okay.
But it looks like that Batman series, the
Mm.
Batman video game. Like the combat looks exactly like that, but just Spider-Man, which is
Definitely, yeah.
awesome.
Big
Yeah.
inspiration.
So, I forget his name. The creative director of the game. He was on Kind of Funny Games, which is like a podcast, and they talk about games, gaming news, all that stuff. He's talking about the game, and that's the biggest comparison they kept getting. And he takes it as a compliment because what the Arkham games did, combat-wise, for a superhero is borderline perfection.
Hold that thought. I just want to fix the figure for anybody listening. So it sold 3.3 million in the first 3 days,
That's
which is
amazing.
insane.
That doesn't happen anymore.
What's
it happened. I
average?
want to see what happened.
Average?
Grand Theft Auto 5 was the last one.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
sold 2 in like 3 days, 2.5. I
I'm
think.
gonna look it up. It's these times
So
I
the
wish I still had
average,
Jay.
so the average for like a game, honestly, ranges depending on the game, depending on the anticipation for the game. So let's say a sports game, right? Let's say like a FIFA.
But that comes out every year, so not everyone's buying it right away.
and exactly. So it's a little skewed. So we're saying probably that first 3 days, globally, probably, I'm saying 300,000, 400,000 sold in the first.
But that's
couple days.
guaranteed. Because you have those,
That's
those-
guaranteed every single year.
Yeah.
Because then you have the people who are lingering that eventually get it. That's the type of game that surges during the holiday.
Yeah,
know what I
absolutely.
mean?
They have those like $20 off
Yeah,
deals.
yeah.
It's always the sports
Yeah.
games.
So let's talk about like Grand Theft Auto, right? They don't make their games every year. It seems like it's almost every 6 years. The sequel comes out, something like that. That's gonna hit at least 1.5 million in the first 3 days, couple days.
I'm finding conflicting information on here. It said that Grand Theft Auto 5, within 24 hours of its release, and this is Wikipedia, so I'm not sure how reliable it is, Grand Theft Auto 5 generated more than $800 million worldwide, equating to approximately 11.21 million copies sold for Take-Two Interactive, within 24 hours.
I don't think
That
that's,
would-
I
that
don't
would
think
make
that's
it-
correct.
Yeah, I guess that's
I
not
don't
correct.
think that's
So
correct.
where'd you hear this Spider-Man?
Spider-Man PlayStation tweeted that out.
Yeah. Also,
Oh,
Entertainment IE had it. Where I looked it
Can we
up.
pull that up?
However, you know what I think it was? I think it was Spider-Man is the fastest exclusive game sold, which would make
That might
sense.
be the case, but wasn't Grand Theft Auto also PS4?
No, that's on every.
Oh, yeah,
console.
you're right.
That's a third party.
Okay, so I guess you're right.
So I think first party Spider-Man.
Oh,
is the fastest.
okay. So yeah, you don't have to look it up, Ryan. Sheldon's completely right. Marvel's Spider-Man is setting records. It's now the fastest selling first-party PlayStation title, selling 3.34.
Yeah.
So
Which
does-
is a lot for a first party, meaning it's only on one console.
Okay.
So
Does it
made by a studio that is typically only for one console. So Insomniac, all their games previous besides Sunset Overdrive, which is for Xbox, every game, every game, all their games, are typically PlayStation only. But they, have smaller studios within their studio. Probably make cell phones or Switch or maybe Xbox.
I mean,
Something
the
like that.
game looks amazing.
Looks
There's no
awesome.
denying that. But
Yeah.
I really think that, the reason everyone's buying it is because it's Spider-Man.
I would agree.
Everyone loves Spider-Man.
I think it's Spider-Man and Batman are the two superheroes that everyone loves.
Yeah.
I grew up loving Spider-Man. I know a lot of people that are very similar.
Same.
It's
I
weird
played-
how much of an effect he has on people.
Yeah,
It's true, man.
and to answer your question, the biggest difference between Spider-Man and Batman, the combat is very similar, but Batman is a counter fighter, right? Remember the game when he would counter, he'd do blowbacks. Spider-Man is not as strong as Batman, like physically, his physique, so he's more elusive. So he doesn't have a counter button; he has a elusive button. So when stuff's coming at him, he does slide through their legs, web their hands, make them flip, stuff like that. So that's like the biggest difference between the two.
From the outside looking in, though, man, one thing that I thought was kind of messed up with this game, and you beat it, so I want to hear your full synopsis if it was worth the wait, if it's worth the money.
Yeah.
It looks like you're kind of overpowered, man. Like, is there any enemy that you run into that's like challenging? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I played the game on the hardest difficulty, and
I think I'll do
Have you
that
beat
too
it
when I
already?
play it.
it took me like 2.5, 3 weeks.
Has Spider-Man been out that long?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Dude,
came out.
Time moves fast, buddy.
Sheesh.
I know.
When did it come out? It came out the 9th, September
yeah,
9th.
it did. I was
Okay.
gonna get my brother that for his birthday. Never
So
got back to me.
I played it. But you gotta remember, I wasn't playing like every day. It's just when I had a day to like crush it,
Just
I was
chill,
like
yeah.
crushing it.
Yeah,
You know what
definitely.
I mean? I beat all the side quests, every single one. The one thing I'm doing that's left, I collected everything to be collected in the game. Done
Yeah.
it. The only thing I have left is the stupid patrol missions, meaning you got to swing through the city. Oh, you hear the police
Like an
chatter.
Assassin's Creed quest.
No, it's
right?
like Batman when you're like zipping and all that stuff, and then you hear the police chatter. Oh, we have crime happening in the 13th
Yeah.
district, and you got to swing over there, take care of like 5 people.
Mhm.
Those are the ones that are annoying that I can't stand doing.
You know
I
what's
have them left.
funny about this video game is that it's almost made. It's different, but it's almost made exactly like Spider-Man 2, the movie game.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite games
Yeah.
growing up.
Everyone
And
loves that game.
exactly, and it just
That's like
looked
arguably the
like
best
it.
Spider-Man
And
game.
it's interesting that they chose Doc Ock as the final villain, like the main villain of the series, because same one in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. That's really
They
awesome.
went with
man.
the story that they went with in this game is very nice.
Okay, cool. I know
Very
it's
nice.
Mr. Negative's like the big guy, but I guess there's a twist as always. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I spoil that for you?
It's Uncle Ben. He came back. Oh, now he's evil.
That'd be wild.
That'd be wild. Yeah.
But this story, and they made it obvious. It's not a spoiler because they showed at E3. The best way to word it is that the overall villainy is Sinister Six.
that's
kind
cool.
of.
I dig that.
Yeah, but there's a story going on that, a good game when they can kind of personify a villain, kind of like Infinity War when they made you feel for Thanos a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you
I
understand.
never once felt for Thanos.
The only
hate that
point I
dude.
felt for Thanos,
worst.
it was like a weird moment where I was like, wow, where's my morality? Was when he was talking about his planet and how his planet fell because it was overpopulated, the rich were killing the poor, and the planet just like ate itself up, right?
Yeah.
And that's why he decided to kill planets, have to genocide.
But
and I'm like,
real
damn,
quick, real
like,
quick.
that's fucked.
My
but I
my
get it.
friend said this to me like a few weeks after Infinity War came out. He goes, why didn't Thanos just snap his fingers and double all the resources and space in the universe? That would have just solved all the problems. He has the Infinity Gauntlet that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no answer for him. I still don't have an answer for him. I'm hoping one of you do.
I don't know, man.
Say this one more time.
He said that if Thanos had the gauntlet and had like controlled everything in the universe, why didn't he just snap his fingers and double all the resources and double all the space and bring back his people? Because like he could do that under the rules of the Infinity Gauntlet, correct?
No.
Why not?
Yes and no. So, well, the reason that he didn't get that last stone because whatever the hell his name is, I can't remember his name, had the stone in his head. Vision had the stone, so he had to go get the stone. That was the last stone to get.
Yeah.
So he had to get it. And then if he brought back everyone and then ruled with an iron fist, that defeated the purpose of his cause. Because what his theory is that you will obtain, there will be world peace with less people. Without overpopulation, there is no disparity between the rich and poor. Everyone can eat evenly. Everything is like, because there's less people, there's no homeless people. There's no yada, yada, yada. Everyone can have a job. That's what his ideal of what's like a perfect
Utopia.
world? Utopia. That's like his utopia. And then he gave stats, and not stats, but Gamora, like when he took her, he killed half of her planet. Mm-hmm. And then when she was like, oh, you're evil, you're all this, he's like, look at your planet now. It's in the best shape of its life. It's thriving. People are happy. There's no one hungry. Everyone's eating. So you're like, damn, okay, he has a point, but it's still insanely fucked up because he's killing trillions of people at one time.
Yeah.
But that would take away his point of, because if everyone's there, then it's like people can still come together and like overthrow him, and it's just a shit ton of people, and it's just gonna make the world worse.
Well, it's not any more people than are already there, right? It's just that there's more resources and more space.
Well, there would be less resources and space if everyone's back.
I mean, you're right. That might be a plot hole.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know, but like,
but
maybe he's just
Kevin
a jerk.
Feige,
Maybe
Kevin
that's the short
Feige.
Yeah, that's the short answer, dude.
Maybe Thanos just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of does, though, right? I mean, like, everyone's like, I can really, like, empathize with him, but it's just, like, he kind of has the same perspective as the Joker in a way, which is, like, random injustice exists, therefore there is no justice. And it's like, whoa, that's not actually true, you know what I'm saying? And, like, that's kind of what
Who invited this guy?
That's kind of what communism is, though, where it's just, like,
Exactly.
there's disparaging, there are poor people and rich people. This is not right. This is not right at all. And it's just, like, it's a reality of an economic system that works. I mean, communism is good in theory, but it doesn't work. But it's just like, no, your answer's too complicated. Like, that's kind of like Thanos' whole outlook on the situation. It's the same thing with the Joker. Like, Batman's like, there's right and there's wrong. Mm-hmm. And Joker's like, well, the fact that bad things happen to good people mean that there is no right and wrong, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So he's still villainous, but I can understand how people see his perspective.
They can see the perspective, but
yeah. Because it's upsetting to see that.
Did you see the new reveal of the Joker boys?
Yeah, I did see that. Did
No,
you?
Thoughts?
Is it a DC movie?
See, I still don't know what the movie's supposed
Is
to be.
it like about the Joker, or is it like just
First off,
Joker?
Joaquin Phoenix is the Joker.
Beast.
I think it's a good choice.
But this is like the DC villain Joker, not just
yes,
like
this
the title
is.
Joker.
So this is going to be a solo movie about Joker and the quote unquote origins. Now
so
that's
as a failed
the premise.
comedian.
Failed comedian turns into the Red Hood, falls into a vat of chemicals. Maybe it's the same story. They seem to be taking liberties with Venom's story, so nowadays there can be anything that happens. So I don't know. But I'm worried that, yes, we all love the Joker. I think a lot of the reason, though, that we love the Dark Knight movie is because Joker wasn't the only one in it, man. It's just like Jaws. Like, if you saw the shark the whole time, you wouldn't be as scared of it. But the fact that you see it sparingly, that's what makes you like it. So I think people love the Joker.
And Harvey Dent's more in that movie than Joker.
They love the Joker and they want the Joker, but I'm like, guys, too much Joker might ruin the mystique of the character. So I hope this is good. I think it will be, but I'm worried about it as well.
I like how he looks.
I think it's cool, man.
He looks like
I haven't even seen
he looks like Jack Nicholson's a little bit.
Okay, but this is pre-Joker. This is like
I think so.
Yeah, it starts off. Well, the teaser kind of gives it away. So it starts off with this dude just kind of standing there looking like a psycho. Camera zooms in slowly.
It's a what's that called?
Projector.
Projectors going on him.
On the projection face, and then a clown's face projects onto him, which I don't think is exactly how the character's going to look, but it's going to be similar.
They already released. I can pull it up for you. They
Oh,
already
okay.
released what he looks like.
Oh, there's an image that's not
there's
in the
an image.
teaser. Okay, but yeah,
Cool.
pretty much a projector hits his face, and it's a clown face, and that's the whole teaser. Yeah, and yeah, it's pretty creepy.
We're really at the peak of superhero movies.
Yeah, it's a
Supervillain
good time to
movies.
be a nerd,
They're
man.
gonna end very soon, my friend.
You think so?
No.
No, because you know why? I think people are getting burned out.
What's next? Anime,
I don't know.
Anime live action.
I don't know. I think that
They don't work out well.
No.
I think Infinity War blew everyone's expectations. Like there's a big score to settle in the next movie.
Yeah.
I think everyone's really into that. I'm into that at least.
No. I agree with you, Ryan. 100%.
Maybe after that, then everyone's like, like can't get much bigger than that.
That always does.
There he is.
Oh shit.
Well, that's the image in the trailer.
No, because then they did do the scene
Dude.
came out and he's wearing the exact same thing.
This
Okay.
looks great.
Maybe that's
Like
a
a shooting.
maybe that's
This
a
looks-
precursor to the final costume, though.
And the girl from the girl from Atlanta in this movie. She was also in Deadpool.
Zazie Beetz.
Yeah, is she in this?
I don't know.
I don't
they
know.
didn't release
I'm
the
just-
cast. They just showed that. Oh shit.
Joaquin Phoenix in a classic film, but she's like next to
Yeah, and
this
the
picture.
Joker that
so.
they're showing is the Red Hood Joker, where he does his villainous crime first in clown paint,
Okay.
and then he falls into the vat.
Yeah.
But at the
It's
same
a skin
time,
bleach.
I thought the whole backstory of the Joker was that he needed some money. He was in a bad relationship or something. Had needed money,
So that-
and he got into it with some gangsters.
So
who-
yeah.
So the story that they tell in The Dark Knight, when he gives that monologue, when he has the knife in that guy's mouth, that
Yeah.
is the closest story of canon of the Joker from him telling it is the closest to his origin story.
This is such a nerdy.
Yeah.
I
well,
don't.
dude,
the one that's
we're already in.
right. The
Yeah,
one
we're
that's
already
the one
in.
that's genuinely accepted as canon is the one that Alan Moore wrote in The Killing Joke, which is the Joker is a struggling comedian. He's having a hard time making ends meet. He wants to impress the woman that he's with. He's afraid that she's going to think that he's a deadbeat, but she loves him regardless of his failure.
Yeah.
So what he tries to do on the side to make money, because he's really, really failing bad as a comedian, is he starts doing petty crimes with these people, and he masquerades during these crimes as a character known as the Red Hood. So he has this thing on his head that
It's
he
like a
puts on and
bucket.
runs through. Not his idea. They pressure him into doing it. So he one night goes into a factory where there's a bunch of chemicals. Batman tries to stop him. Long story short, he falls
Tries to
into the
catch
vat.
him,
Yeah,
falls.
he falls into the vat. He comes out. His skin is permanently bleached, and he's now full blown psychotic. That's the one that's recognized as genuinely canon.
Yeah.
But then if you look at all the DC comics, there's a whole bunch of origin stories, which is intentional because it's supposed to make the character more mysterious. Which is why I don't
That's
really.
my favorite one.
Which one?
My favorite Joker story besides the Killing Joke one. When his Bruce Wayne's mother becomes Joker.
Yeah, that's
that's a great
that's
story.
Flashpoint. That's the alternate
Yeah.
universe
What
one.
are you-
Speta Comedy's a huge fan of that.
Are you saying that you like that he makes up different stories all the time?
Yes, and that's why I think that this movie may or may not be good, because we don't really know exactly how the Joker started. It's cooler because we're like, dude, we don't really know who this guy is. And then there's a recent Batman comic where Batman is face to face with this supercomputer that can answer any question. Either that or was some character that can answer any question.
It was answer any question.
And
he
so
said,
who's the
identity
who's the identity of the
Joker?
Joker? And the computer says that there's actually 3. So it blows everything out of the water. Wait, there's a league of Jokers.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that we don't know what Joker is. He could be an alien. He could be a robot. He could be whatever. I'm a fan of not having him explained because I think it's cooler
Well,
that way.
he's arguably
Yes.
he's arguably the greatest villain ever written.
I think he's the best fictional villain of all time. I
Wow.
think he's the best.
One.
I wouldn't even call Darth Vader a villain. Darth Vader's a hero, man.
He's an anti-hero.
He saves the universe by throwing Darth Sidious into that
And he also
reactor.
killed kids.
Yeah, but I think a cool part of a hero is that a hero is not
failed
always.
Yeah,
hero.
but don't you think that people can be
They
redeemed?
make mistakes. They make
Yeah,
mistakes.
like-
Can he
So-
be redeemed?
Can people be redeemed?
Yeah.
I guess it comes down to that question.
That's a award-winning question.
Like Spider-Man. Spider-Man essentially allows Uncle Ben to die. Now, was it unwittingly? Yes, but he had a moral fluctuation that caused the person that he loved the most
It
to
was a
die.
butterfly
That's a failure of a hero right there.
It is.
So you know what I'm saying? I like
he
stories.
also failed with Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Of course.
hate that story so much,
Why?
man. Oh my god.
That was heartbreaking.
No. I
Ryan said that with so much conviction.
no, because like
Heartbreak.
there's two camps for Spider-Man: the people who love Mary Jane and the people who love Gwen Stacy.
But can't you agree that Gwen Stacy is an important part of Spider-Man?
No,
It was his first love.
it wasn't. It was not.
Do tell.
I forget what chapter it was. Well, you got to remember that.
Are you talking about like the way like original comics?
Well, we can go off however we can go off. So there's two stories. There's this, because American comics, you have numerous different publications that do it. Blah blah blah. So Stan Lee did his, but so it changes. So in Stan Lee's version, he meets Mary Jane first, right? Loves Mary Jane, but she doesn't reciprocate the feelings. So then in college, he meets Gwen, and then goes back to Mary Jane. But there's another story that he was with Mary Jane, meets Gwen, and he's kind of like torn between the two. And then there's another one where he meets Mary, falls in love with Black Cat, breaks up with Mary, ends up with Gwen, breaks up with Gwen, ends up with Mary. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird, like, how they do the stories. But me personally, I like the Mary Jane story better than the Gwen one, because I didn't think Gwen was a fascinating character, personally. But Emma Stone,
yeah.
she did a good job.
Oh, you're talking about the movies.
Well, I was going between the comic and the movies and the games. Me personally, I like Mary Jane better. Like, Kirsten Dunst in the movies sucked. And this, which brings me to.
I mean, that was really the. Unless you're gonna talk like Blade, actually, did that come before or after Spider-Man? Wasn't
Blade?
Spider-Man like the first
No.
superhero movie, like of that kind?
Marvel, no. Here's a blur line. So, this is back when superhero movies, they were just like the IPs, and like any studio could make them, even though they were Marvel characters. So they would say like in association with Marvel, Blade by Sony Pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Blade was the first superhero movie.
Was that the first black superhero movie too?
Yeah. So
Was
Blade.
Shaq's movie the second?
What was that called? Shazam? No.
Shazam's that movie that never existed.
He was like this big armored guy.
I don't know who that is.
Shazam's coming. The superhero Shazam's coming out.
So
So
what was Shaq's movie where he's a genie?
that was never a thing.
Kazam?
It was never a thing. Or no, Sinbad is the one that was never a thing, right?
Shaq's superhero movie, and it's called, hold on, Steel, 1997.
Oh, that is.
Okay. I
Anyway.
don't blame you.
So, I forget what we were talking about. What were we talking about?
Spider-Man.
We're talking about back in the day. Ryan was wondering if that's the first superhero
Right.
movie.
So, Spider-Man was like I think the first one that was in association with Marvel.
yeah,
Do it
Superman was one
Because
of
you
the
remember
first.
the original X-Men movies?
I guess. Yeah.
Sure. Remember the original X-Men movies?
Yeah.
They weren't in association with Marvel. They were made by Fox Century.
No, but didn't Spider-Man come before the
No,
X-Men?
the first X-Men movie I think came out. Andrew, can you fact check this?
help
I'm
us
the
out.
researcher today.
X-Men, the first movie I think was 2001. Spider-Man was 2002.
That's Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 was 2002.
Pretty sure. Could be wrong. Let's find out.
So I'm pretty sure. So one of them was first. X-Men might have been 1999 or 2000.
You guys ready for this?
Yeah, I'm
Let's
ready.
hear it.
All right. X-Men first movie,
Yeah.
July 14th, 2000.
Okay.
Okay.
Spider-Man 1 had to be 2001 because I think it came out after 9/11.
I was in first grade, so I think it's...
Fuck, you're right.
I think it was after 9/11.
You were right. It was
Like
after
that
now because they had to
fall.
change that entire scene.
Yep. I think it was right after
Damn it.
9/11 or 2002.
How was I wrong?
Spider-Man first movie, ready for this?
2000 was it?
2002.
Okay.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
then
Good on you.
Spider-Man 2 came out in 05. Spider-Man 3 was 07.
We can forget about Spider-Man 3.
I saw that with my parents.
I saw all 3 with my mom, I think.
That's
She was a
awesome.
big
Spider-Man 2 is actually one of my favorite superhero
So
movies.
here's why
So
I
good.
love Mary
So
Jane.
good.
So in the Spider-Man video game, right, Mary Jane, kind of spoiler, not really. You get to play her in the game numerous times.
Why?
Because instead of her
Is
being
it
a
fun?
yes, because instead of her being a damsel in distress, she's Spider-Man's partner,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's certain parts that happen in the game where she uses her wit and her skills as for working for, excuse me, what was the newspaper called?
The Daily Bugle.
Daily Bugle.
I thought that was Superman.
So
for a
Peter doesn't work. Yeah, isn't that Superman?
second. No, it's Daily Planet.
Daily Planet. The
Okay.
Superman.
So Spider-Man doesn't work for the Bugle anymore. Mary Jane does. So they changed it, and she uses her journalist ability to like tell people. It's like she'll go up to like the museum trying to get an after hours showing and stuff. They're like, oh, you can wait till the morning. She's like, okay, well my boss isn't gonna like this. She's like, who's your boss? And she'll like name drop someone, create like a fake badge to like get in. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So that really like brought back the love for Mary Jane, because Gwen Stacy, I did rock with Gwen for a little bit, and we never like. I wish she became Spider-Gwen in the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
That's coming out in the animated movie though.
That
with,
is
Childish Gambino.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He's not. I don't think he's in it.
I thought he was voicing the main character. wasn't he?
he's the voice actor, right?
No, he's not the voice actor.
Dude, who
He's
voices
a
that
kid.
kid then?
I don't know, but it's not Childish.
Oh,
I
that sucks.
swear.
But,
I know what you're talking about, though. I
think
read that too.
Well, you got to remember, Childish was in Homecoming.
Oh yeah, he
was
made the cameo
He was
appearance.
a drug dealer or guns dealer.
Yeah.
But Enter the Spider-Verse that's coming out December 14th, I think is a partial tie-in to this video game.
Is that a video game? Enter Spider-Verse?
It's an
There was a
animated
multiverse Spider-Man game
Yeah, that was pretty
that
cool.
came out on PS3.
movie. Spider-Man Different Dimensions.
There you go. Shattered Dimensions.
Was
Shattered
it any
Dimensions.
good?
No.
No, it got
was
really
not.
bad reviews. I didn't play it.
However, it really breaks into the lore of a lot of Spider-Man comics.
Yeah,
which
which is cool.
fire.
My favorite iteration of Spider-Man will always be Superior Spider-Man. Like, I thought that was super
Superior
rad.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, so when Spider-Man issue 300 ends, the way it ends is that Dr. Otto Octavius is really old and about to die, but he switches bodies with Peter Parker. So Peter Parker is now trapped in Otto's dying body, and Otto is now in Peter Parker's young, superpowered body. Otto Octavius' body dies, killing the real Peter Parker. And now, essentially, Dr. Octopus is Spider-Man. And he's like, okay, this is great. I'm going to do whatever I want. But just being Spider-Man imbues so much responsibility on him, and he's trapped in kind of like an amalgamation of his own memories and Peter's memories, that he's forced... Well, he makes a decision right there, then and there, to become the best Spider-Man that he could possibly be, even though he's Otto Octavius. And his whole approach to doing it is being Big Brother. It's so cool. So, like, you know how in the comics and in the lore of Spider-Man, whenever Black Cat shows up, there's kind of this flirtatious atmosphere that Spider-Man has with her, kind of like Batman and Catwoman, where it's like,
Same thing, yeah.
I know you're gonna commit a crime, but there's this sexual tension and stuff like that.
You.
Right. In Superior Spider-Man, she's just like, "What's going on, Tiger?" And he just punches her in the face, just bang, just lays her out. You're going to jail. Then he's like, "All this crime is happening in New York, but I work by myself. So I'm going to have spider bots." He has these little nano spider bots that just go across the city and Big Brother everybody, just watch everybody. So now he's like on super surveillance. He shoots somebody with a gun. It's crazy. Like he calls Captain America a flag waving fool. It's like one of the most challenging comics to the Spider-Man dynamic, and fans hated it. It's polarizing. I like it because it
You
departed.
got me interested.
Dude, it's really good, and the way it ends is cool too. And I'm not going to give it away on
Same
here.
thing.
Can I
with
find that just online?
Yeah, if you look up Superior Spider-Man, I'm sure you can find
Same
it
thing
somewhere.
with Captain America being a secret agent of Hydra that came out.
I don't like that.
last year.
I don't like that. I think that's part of the whole SJW Marvel thing, where they've become like very anti-America and stuff like that, man. Like, and I may get flack for saying that, but come on, dude, Captain America, a traitor? Never. No,
It made
not Cap.
sense though.
Just not who he is.
No, not
It
Cap.
made sense for the fact that remember him and Bucky were brainwashed, so it made sense that way. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. My only thing is just check out Superior Spider-Man. But I think Spider-Man is... A lot of people like Spider-Man, again, because of the relatability. It's been talked about time and time again, like
I would say this one is
how relatable that character is.
I would say this one's definitely worth buying a PlayStation for.
When you say this one, you mean the game. Yeah.
If you didn't have a PlayStation, I would say this game's definitely worth buying a PlayStation for.
Sheesh.
That's
That
a lot of money.
It's pretty big, yes.
Well, I mean, obviously there's other games, but like you would
Yeah.
get God of War. That's a must grab.
So what do you give it? 10 out of 10? 9?
Spider-Man?
9 out of 10? Yeah.
Like 8.
8? Okay. It's good enough.
Dan, what's a 10 for you?
Last of Us.
That game is
Yeah.
a 10.
Final Fantasy 10. Final Fantasy 15. God of War, the new one that just came out. Trying
that
to
was
think of
pretty good.
Halo 3.
Yeah, PS4 has a lot of good games out.
Horizon Zero Dawn. That's close to a 10. Nier Automata.
Yeah, I have to play that. Horizon Zero Dawn is the best game
It's
I've
on
played.
sale right now on PlayStation if you don't own it. $30.
Dude, I have too many games. I have to beat Nino Kuni, and then I have to beat Secret of Mana.
Not Ratchet of the Lich King. What the hell's the second one called? Some Kingdom, right?
Of what?
Two Twin Towers.
Oh, you're talking about Ni no Kuni?
Ni no Kuni.
Wrath of the White Witch is the first one, and
Yeah.
Did I say
don't know
Twin
what this
Towers?
I said
thought you were talking
I
about
said,
Lord of the Rings.
dude, I said
Ni no
Lynch
Kuni,
King. I
Twin
said Lynch
Towers.
King. I'm talking about WoW. I don't even play WoW, and I named WoW accidentally.
That's all right, man. We're just talking games like till we're blue in the face. But what about movies, man? This Venom movie's coming out. That looks
Not
kind of cool.
excited.
Why not?
Looks pretty cool.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, I don't know how excited I am to have Tom Hardy as.
That's exciting to me. Tom Hardy.
What's
I'm
it,
all
Brock?
for it.
Brock what?
Eddie Brock.
Eddie Brock.
Eddie
Yeah.
Brock. Yeah.
I just don't think there's some characters like the Hulk that don't warrant a movie because it just doesn't work because it's a CGI fest.
Well,
Also-
my question is, how is this gonna work without Spider-Man?
That's my thing, man.
I remember
There's no spider. There's not
not
even
in
a
New
spider
York.
on his chest.
That's
That's what makes it. There isn't.
no, and the
it's
origins.
not, it's not a Marvel movie.
The origin story is it's Fox. It's not.
It's not Fox, Sony.
Sony, yeah.
It's Sony.
Same people
Sony.
that did the Amazing Spider-Man.
I've heard rumors.
It's
that
rated
they're-
R
they're-
though, right?
No,
Nope.
PG-13.
PG-13.
They
What?
wanted to open up to a wider audience.
Oh, that's crazy.
I've heard rumors because you know how Sony has a deal with Marvel with Spider-Man that they're eventually going to have a Spider-Man Venom movie,
That'd be sick.
which it would be.
It's gonna happen.
It would make sense.
You know why I can't say it happened? Because Homecoming was so light. However, Infinity War was pretty dark, so after post Infinity War, it could happen. But I think Eddie Brock. I think this is in San Francisco. I don't think it's in New York.
Well, he could always come to New York.
It's not New York.
I think
this
it's in
origin
San Fran.
story
Well,
is gonna be
that's
so
his-
weird.
I think his origin's in San Fran. I don't know. I don't know that much about.
I
Venom.
think the one that was in the movie is the same one in the comics, where it falls out of this cathedral after Peter Parker takes it off. I'm pretty sure that's canon to the comics. But you're right. Spider-Man is a big part of the origin of Venom
And how
because
you
we
get
see the
Carnage.
he's
we
in
see the
this
insignia
cathedral.
on there.
He realizes the symbiote cannot handle loud sounds,
Yeah.
like high frequencies, I
Yeah.
guess is what it is. So Peter bangs on the bell. He keeps banging on it. It
Yeah.
starts raining, and then the symbiote falls, and Eddie Brock
Yeah.
is working for the Daily Bugle, correct?
Mhm.
He's trying to get pictures of Spider-Man, so
And
he's
it
there.
only
Well, he's there
latched
because he's
onto
mad at
him.
Peter Parker.
You got to remember, it latches on to things that if you have like hate, like it latches
feeds
onto
off
it.
of adrenaline and fear. That's
Yeah.
why it forces people to jump off buildings and do crazy stuff. But yeah, that's why the Spider insignia is on it because it was with Spider-Man first, and that's why Venom has Spider-Man's powers where he can like web swing because it merged with Spider-Man first. So
Yeah, but
I don't know
some-
how they're going to
so the
explain that in the
trailers-
movie.
The trailers that they shown, I'm just like, it looks really CGI, like a CGI affair.
What else are you
I'll
going to
probably see it, but I don't know. I'm not that like I don't have high.
At least it's
expectations.
more. At least it doesn't look like a fake, like a weird suit like it did in Spider-Man 3.
That was kind of
I'm trying to
weird.
remember how. I don't remember how.
Spider-Man 3,
Spider-Man
they had the actor from that 70s show play that guy.
Yeah, I know.
I always thought The Rock
Topher
should be
Grace.
Venom, man. He'd be so cool as
Yeah,
Venom.
I
he
could-
needs. He needs.
Well,
a sad
Eddie
movie
Brock
for
was
that.
supposed to be a very muscular dude.
That's why they got Tom Hardy.
He's not that muscular.
Eddie Brock is he's pretty
Hardy's
supposed to be
pretty good.
jacked, but Tom Hardy's short. So like when they show him in the movie, like he's super tall, and I'm like maybe the symbiote like adds to his height
Dude,
or
and
something.
I hate when he does like the half face and
Oh,
like
yeah.
Tom's talking and then Venom's talking this side, and like Tom's mouth is like barely moving and then Venom's mouth's just like this.
It
and I'm
does
like-
look a little
I'm
silly.
like, it looks a little funny.
Looks a little silly. Why'd you say Rocket needs to stay out of movies?
Bro, he's in everything. It's like the same thing we're
For
talking
a
about. the
reason.
superhero. I mean, yeah, I get it. He works hard. He's a great draw, but when's the last time he made a good movie?
Does that dissipate the illusion of the film to you when you see like this guy who's 1,000
yeah,
different
because
characters?
he's in this. He almost plays the same character in a lot of his movies.
I'd say so. Just the cool guy. That's The Rock.
Like
The
dude,
cool strong guy.
So it's like, what's his name in the Final Fantasy?
The Rock's a character in Final
That'd be
Fantasy.
awesome,
That'd be
man.
funny. What's his name in Hobbs in Fast and Furious?
You're asking the wrong guy.
I don't
I'm not
remember.
Fast and Furious, man.
So it's like there's like memes saying Hobbs on vacation, now he's a lifeguard in Baywatch. It's like Hobbs retired, now he
That's
retired,
good.
went to the war, lost a leg, now
That's-
he's fighting terrorists and skyscrapers.
Now that movie
That's
looked
good.
terrible.
It's like that movie's horrible.
yeah, when the
Dude, I
movie's
saw
name is
part-
Skyscraper, it's not gonna
Dude,
be
I
good.
saw a scene that he jumped off a building, detached his amputated leg,
Go gadget grapple.
dude, put it in between the elevator that's closing to close the door, and then like, oh wait, what's going on?
That's
Did
so
he
funny,
make it?
man.
Yeah, of course he made it.
He's The Rock, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And then, it's funny whenever I ask questions like that, like anything about The Rock, everyone's answer is always, "It's the fucking Rock, of
Yeah, it's
course."
The
And
Rock.
then to whatever the question is.
I
Yeah,
refuse
he's
to
like
watch
Popeye.
that Jumanji movie because he's in it.
People said that was good.
I heard Jack Black's amazing in it, and I love Jack
I
Black.
love Jack Black too. He
But-
plays like a teenage girl in that movie, right?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
But like, dude, The Rock plays the same. He's like another oiled up, burly looking man. Like, he's got his short sleeves, can barely breathe because of his muscles.
Yeah.
And it's like, then he had a movie where he's with a giant silverback gorilla. I'm like, dude, what's
The
going
Rampage
on?
movie, yeah. Do you think there's anything he'll say no to?
No,
we
of
look at
course
something and
not.
be like, I don't know.
That's why he's the highest paid actor.
Pay cut, probably.
Yeah.
Dude, and like,
It's like, do you know who the
that's
fuck
why,
I
that's
am?
why that's why a lot of the Fast and Furious people have beef with him, because they wanted to make the 9th movie, but because he has such a draw, and that was a dying franchise, and he helped bring it back. He has a spinoff coming with Jason Statham. It's like Hobbs and
It's a Fast and Furious spinoff?
yeah.
Whoa.
It's Hobbs and Jason Statham. They were enemies, and now they're best friends, and they have like a buddy cop movie coming out. And like the Fast and Furious crew have beef with them, or did have beef with them, because it pushed their movie back.
Dang.
And like, so that's like, messing with their money a little bit.
Yeah, that's not The Rock's fault, though.
Kind of, because he was really pushing for it, because he's the executive producer of this movie. So it's like,
That's
I don't know, man. It's just like, I love that he has this work ethic. He's in everything. But at the same time, dude, being in everything is not always a good thing. Let us miss you.
Yeah, I don't think
If Leonardo DiCaprio was in every single movie, people are like, no wonder why you don't have an Oscar. Because you're in a lot of bad movies.
Right. You're 100% right, man. You got to be selective of what
You gotta
you're
be selective.
in. Yeah. I
Like
feel-
Samuel Jackson. Remember he had that long stint of shitty movies? Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
And then, dude, and right before Snakes, he had, oh my God, what was that movie called where he was a pimp? And he had the girl chained up. The white girl. Black Snake Moon.
Black Snake Moon.
Black Moon, something like that. Great movie.
That movie was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
And then he did the Star Wars. And then you have Snakes on a Plane. Then you had that one Community movie where, like, people are acting funny against him because he just moved into this all-white suburbia or something
Yeah.
like that. And it's like, dude, you got to say no to some things. And then he saved his career once Tarantino was like, all right, time to make another movie.
Yeah.
After Inglourious Bastards, put him in Django.
He was great in
Then after
Django,
that,
man.
now he's
Yeah.
starring in Hateful Eight, which was a phenomenal movie.
That was awesome.
So it's like, you say no sometimes, you get certain roles. And now we have Glass coming out.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yeah, that's with,
James McAvery and Bruce Willis.
yeah.
Didn't M. Night Shyamalan
M. Night
write that?
Shyamalan.
We
So it
talked about
continues.
Split.
It's a sequel to Split and a sequel
You're good,
to
you're good.
Split and Unbreakable, which came out in 2003.
And it's supposed to be a superhero movie? Like,
Yeah. And they're
or
all
like
in it.
two heroes versus a villain?
Well, no, they're the hero and two villains, and they're in an
Oh.
insane asylum. Which this could be epic. This could be really good.
Back to the acting thing. I feel like The Rock isn't that type of actor though. Like he's not.
He's
He's not a
box office
Robert
hit.
De Niro. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
summer. He's like Shia LaBeouf used to be. That's how he is.
Yeah, but the fun.
What did Shia LaBeouf used to be?
Shia was in Disturbia, all
Great
the
movie.
Transformers,
Transformers.
the new Indiana Jones, which is awful. Like there's nothing he would say no to,
Yeah, and
you know?
so like,
in my opinion.
and like
I don't know
me
his life.
personally, I rather see movies by like the Denzel, like the people who will say no, and then when they say no, even if it takes 5 years in between a movie, you're getting a smash.
I'm a Sacha Baron Cohen guy. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like when I show up in a movie, I am that
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
Like I was that character Offset. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like Childish. I heard that creepy white guy in Atlanta.
Was at the Emmys.
Yeah.
Teddy-
How-
Someone else is dressed up as him.
Teddy, what's his name?
They said that was him. They said that the guy that showed up dressed up as Teddy was Childish in,
It
in
was.
a costume.
It was, and
It
then
looked different though.
Yeah,
And
it
he was there. He was there.
And then
next
he
to
was
him.
there.
He showed up afterwards, but he didn't. He never walked in on the carpet.
Yeah, he never
So
walked
people
on
was
the
like,
carpet.
"Where's he at?" And then afterwards, he showed up, and they were like,
bro, did you
"Was
watch
he
that
in, Was he in a
episode?
costume?" I saw a little bit of it. I heard that. What's the other guy's name? He was in Sorry to Bother You.
How Lakeith Stanfield.
I
like that.
I read that he had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
He had no idea that Childish was Teddy in the costume while they were shooting the episode.
Believe it. I didn't know until the credits rolled.
They said they didn't even listen in the credits.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
listening to the
because
credits.
when I didn't see
I
it-
watched that episode like 3 times that night. Like it was I remember
Dude,
it
that episode's
debuted.
phenomenal.
I like literally my jaw was
You're
was
good, dude.
open the entire fucking episode.
Dude,
it
'cause-
was so weird.
dude,
It
'cause
gave
Ben
you
and
a
I-
Get Out feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ben and I were talking about it, And when he told me that was Charles, I was like, bro, no, it wasn't. Then I'm watching it back, and I'm like,
We're talking about a character
Dude,
that's in Atlanta, and Childish Gambino played this character, and it's like this pale-faced white guy, or you think he's white.
it's a parody of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he looks very Michael
basically
Jackson.
Michael Jackson parody character.
Black man who becomes like white.
Was he originally black?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
In
he's
the
white.
episode, that's
Black.
That's how it went. Yeah.
Crazy.
And then it messed me up when the dude in the basement was 2 people, and I thought it was 1 person the whole time.
What do you mean, 2 people?
Remember when it was Teddy, and then Luke Keith, or what, I forget what his character's name in the show is.
Yeah,
He'd
me
go
too.
wandering, and then there'd be the guy in the wheelchair, and he thought it was the same person the whole time until the end when the guy in the wheelchair came up from the elevator with the gun, and he was like, "What the?" And he's like, "Boom!" Dude,
Wait, you're saying that he thought that Teddy was also the
was
guy in the wheelchair?
playing around with his mind, like just like saying he. Cause remember, he was saying that he used to be another person, and this other.
No,
person
he was
used to
saying
live
that he had a brother, and he didn't.
Yeah.
He hadn't met
Yeah,
the brother.
so he thought he was the brother. He thought
Yeah.
he was playing both brothers, but it turns out that there was actually 2 brothers.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Bro, and that episode, that has to be one of the greatest TV episodes ever. And it's
I
a
agree.
comedy show.
It just
And
highlights
that
how
episode was so dark.
how brilliant Donald Glover is.
Meanwhile,
even
the next
more.
episode is about like trying to meet Drake at a party.
That
Like, you
episode was
know,
hilarious,
It
too.
was
That
hilarious.
episode
but
was hysterical.
it's just like crazy how they
Yeah.
go from one like season 2. Like every episode was unique.
Dude, what about the episode when Paperboy...
He needs a
What?
haircut.
Was that the episode?
Oh, he wants
No,
a haircut.
when they were like, oh, what's up, Paperboy? What you doing out here? And then they pulled the gun out.
Oh
on him.
yeah, they robbed him. Yeah.
Dude, that episode went from like 0 to 100 real fast because like it was a jokey episode, and they thought they were joking around. Then they tried to rob and kill him. They were hunting him in the woods, and I'm like, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm like, damn, like, what the hell's going
Yeah,
on?
that show's good. I definitely need to watch it more.
Dude,
'Cause I've
it's so
watched
good.
it. I definitely need to watch
Even
it more.
even if when they go to the college, that was so funny.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty good episode.
It was
Only
good.
because of their like the 4th character they introduced in this season. The dude that just
Tony.
like
I think his name is Tony. No, but the episode when so Paperboy loses his passport because it's the season finale. They're trying to go to Europe for his tour.
I remember this. They found a gun, right?
No, and he goes to they're trying to get a passport, and they go to I think it was like a Jewish-owned firm or something like that, and they're like, he's like $200 to get an expedited passport. He's like, is there any like other places that we can go that are like like black-owned that are just as good as what you guys do? And then you see every white person behind him just like look up like this, and then you see the tell like look at him, and he was like, yeah, and like the people are like. It was just a moment like that because they're like yeah, probably not.
what? No, he basically asked like
Listening,
I was trying
I
to
gotta
get
plug in my
senses.
laptop. I'm listening now.
Yeah, go ahead.
no, in that exchange, he was asking if he could get a black lawyer. Like why
Yeah, that's what it was.
why are Jewish lawyers better than black
Yeah,
lawyers?
better
Be
than black
honest, are they?
Yeah, and they all
he
look
was
up
ju-
and they're like,
well, no, he goes, well, simply by the fact that Jewish people have more connections and better resources, yes, they're better, but like, no, a black
Yeah.
man is not inferior to a Jewish person.
Yeah, but
and
it's
he was
just
just
the
like,
fact-
he was like, fuck.
it was just the fact when everyone in there just like looked up like, how's he gonna answer this one?
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, and then I had the episode mixed up with another one, but that was funny. That was a good moment.
I have to watch more of it, man. I still remember the first episode very clearly. Like that's one of the best hooks I've seen in a first episode, man.
Have you guys been paying attention to Quentin's new movie coming out?
I have not.
We talked about this one. This one is based off the Manson murders, right?
Yeah, man.
So crazy. What do you think about basing an entertainment style movie off of like a tragedy? What is your view on that?
Honestly, me personally, I'm not for it. Not really. Like even with some of these murder shows, I'm like, are you informing or are you glorifying?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like a fine line. And so like, do you remember when the OJ docuseries came out?
Yes.
There's two of them. There was the ESPN one, and then there was the TNT one with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
So that was like the dramatization of it.
Yes.
I was like, is this informing or is this glorifying? And whereas the ESPN one was literally like 3 hours, 6 episodes each, just info.
Yeah.
Like it's like here's all the facts of everything. I like that.
I like that too.
I really like that.
I like knowing really like what went on, dude.
I want to know how it started. All of that. I'm all for that. But like I don't know. So it's like weird. But at the same time, Quentin's like one of the most brilliant minds in like Hollywood.
Yeah, but he's like super tongue in cheek. Like, have
He
you ever
is.
seen him make a serious movie?
Well, how serious do you take Inglourious Bastards?
That movie's not serious, dude. Bear Jew
You think about that, but
scalping the dude at the end. Yeah.
yeah, but you think about that, but if you so we're talking about those moments,
It's dark humor.
but leading to the moments, they weren't like people weren't laughing in the theater though.
There's a
If
scene
you really
with,
think about it, because when he's calling out the bear Jew and he's like when you see that scene with no context, you're like, oh, this is kind of funny, and then it happens, you're like, damn, this is kind of sick movie. But when you see the context leading up to it, you're like, this is a heavy scene.
well, I mean, it's heavy content. Like Django's about slavery. That's super heavy.
Yeah.
But that movie, there's so many funny parts in
There
it.
are,
You know.
yeah.
I feel like that's what Tarantino does.
Well, he also had Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx that comedic draw.
That's true, man. But I mean, just the attitude. Like, there's a Rick Ross song in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he makes fun of the KKK.
That was so funny.
Yeah,
when
dude,
That song
like,
came on. That song slaps.
It's nuts.
so-
But like, there's parts in it that. So I guess you're right. There's parts in the Tarantino movies that are just like so extremely dark. Like when the slaves are fighting, like that was nuts.
and
Dude.
that was like a 10-minute scene.
that was nuts. Like that was
no music,
insane.
nothing. That was
Yeah.
just 10 minutes of just like,
And
you're
then-
like, oh, this is hard
In
to
the
watch.
beginning of the Inglourious Bastards, obviously when the Jewish people are hiding, there's nothing funny about that scene. You know, where the girl has to run away.
And it's
So
no music,
It's
yeah.
I think like his whole thing is he makes fun of tragedy. Like that's his thing. Like he tries to find the bright side in something like extremely dark. Not the bright side, but he makes you laugh. Like
Well,
there's
that's
nothing funny about the KKK.
Yeah.
But then you see that scene where
That
they're like
scene
talking
with
about
the
the
hoods.
mask, and he's like, these are a bunch of idiots. You know, like
yeah.
that. So that's kind of how he does it.
Yeah.
He's not making fun of slavery or racism. Like
Yeah.
he's finding humor in this dark situation.
Yeah.
So-
And I don't know, he's just really good. But like, you know, comedy is tragedy.
Right. I mean,
you
that's
can't
how we
get,
deal
you
with
can't
it.
get comedy. You can't get tragedy without comedy.
Yeah. And
So-
I feel like this one in particular, there's a lot of opportunity to tell.
And he tells, I don't know if this is like, obviously, you know, Sharon Tate's murder is a true story, but we get to see a different side of it. We see the outside. We don't see the inside, which is different.
Right.
So it could be funny because we're seeing a guy trying to make it in Hollywood with his stunt double.
right.
Turns out they unfortunately live next to Sharon Tate.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like he could tastefully do it where we never see Sharon Tate and Charles Manson until that fateful night,
Yeah.
and then the repercussions after that.
Part of the intrigue for me, exactly, is seeing how that's going to be done, how that's going to be presented.
That's creative.
Yeah.
You know, you can create a fake story happening next to a real one.
Yeah.
And like,
Historical fiction, essentially, but just done in a Tarantino style. Of course, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be good. I just want to see how. But you
When does that come out?
2019.
That's cool.
And I think that's his 9th, or is this his last film?
I think
No,
this
this is 9 because Hateful Eight, obviously 8.
Yeah.
Hateful Eight.
I think this might be the last one, right? He
Nah, I
said
think
he's
there's
ending
one more. I
sometime.
think he says doing 10, then he's stepping away.
Crazy. Yeah, he said directors have a shelf life. It's pretty wild. But you talked about obsessing over murderers. My
Mm-hmm.
obsession is stalkers. Like I love reading about stalker stories. Not that I love stalkers or what they do.
Stalker stories.
Dude, I think stalker stories are crazy. Like
Can you
how
give me an
somebody can be
example?
obsessed with somebody.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Yeah, like
yeah.
there's just like insane ones, you know?
I just got this explained to me the other day.
I don't know why I love reading them. They're just so intriguing to me.
You ever hear of the term called a nice guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's Reddit nice guy, bro. I'm all on that.
So this was explained to me for almost an hour yesterday.
Yeah.
That what nice guy is, and there's another term to it. I forget what the other term.
Incel?
Incel.
Yeah,
That's what it's
yeah,
called.
yeah.
So do you know what a nice guy is? Have you ever heard of that term?
You talking? I mean,
Ryan is
kinda?
so pure, dude. He hasn't been tainted by the
Maybe,
internet
maybe
yet.
not. I don't know.
So
Just-
I'll give you-
just
I'll give you
explain
an
it to me
example.
just so we're on the same page.
All right. So what a nice guy is a man who
Sounds
will-
very open ended.
Dude, that's what I thought until it was explained to me, and then it makes a lot of sense.
If you peruse Reddit, you're very familiar
Yeah,
with these
so
two
what a
terms.
nice guy is for all the glorious viewers and listeners out there is someone who goes out of their way, typically a male, to a female who will do endless nice things for her in return, hoping that they will have sex.
Are you like on the red pill or something like that? Is this where you're getting?
Oh,
this
he's
info?
talking about black pilling, bro. I know about
What's
all
a
this
black
stuff.
pill?
It's a black pill.
Black pill is what incels call kind of like the reality pill, where like you realize that like all like females are evil and like
Yeah.
No, that's the red pill, isn't it?
nah, that's black pill, bro.
Black pill. No.
I never heard of that.
All of it's a bunch of malarkey, and
Yeah.
I don't believe in it.
So peep this.
Obviously, I'll explain
they
it.
do all these nice deeds, act nice, all this stuff.
Well, there's
for-
definitely people that do that.
Yeah.
Why
So then when the women don't reciprocate these feelings, and the guy's like, "Oh, you're a cunt, you're a slut," like that.
Yeah.
And they bash them. That's what you see
Yeah.
on these like internet comments and stuff.
Yeah.
You see that in real life too.
Yeah, of course.
The whole premise is
That's what a stalker. That's like the blurred line of a stalker. To
the
me.
whole premise is that in the nice guy's mind, the quote unquote nice guy's mind, a girl will only go out with somebody who's kind of like a douche, like a quote unquote Chad.
Yeah,
This is all terms, bro.
like a bro.
The Chad is like a bro, like a college bro, like some
Yeah.
dude who's jacked and like parties a lot and stuff
Treats
like
you
that.
like shit.
And like he considers himself a nice guy, like he's very polite. And just because he's polite, he's entitled to sex, which is the twistedest way to look at anything.
Twisted.
First off, you're not entitled to anything. This is
Nothing.
common sense. But like these guys are so entitled, but their trump card is I'm nice. That's why they call him a nice guy. But it's ironic because everybody who says like why don't you give nice guys a chance or I'm a nice guy turns out not to be actually nice.
Yeah, and they're
you know?
really creepy and stalkerish.
They're super creepy. So
Super
like
creepy.
I mean, my thing is that I feel like most girls, especially girls that are like that are reasonable, that are like normal people, which a lot of them are.
yeah.
You know, like girls know things and have ideas about things and have perspectives that we don't have as men just
Of course.
because we
Intuition.
don't fucking live it.
Yeah.
But like girls, like they have to fucking know when a guy's just trying to be nice to get sex.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See,
Like
but
it's not a
that's, like,
secret.
That's
Right.
that's the weird
To
thing
them,
about
at
like
least.
the nice guys because they think they're doing all this and in their head they're like, dude, if I keep being nice to her, I'm gonna get some in the end.
Right.
And then when they don't, then they bash the women.
They bash them.
They bash.
That's like the craziest
and
thing.
that's where it gets like that's where it bleeds into like stalker.
Right. So
Like,
let me
and
break
what can you break down the what's it called again?
incels.
Yeah,
So
and so can you take that one too? I forget
Incels-
what that one is.
so let's start from square one here. I'm gonna break it down.
How do we get into this? But I'm into it.
Because
But
the
let's go.
stalker. He said
Okay.
we were talking about murderers.
So-
and then switch to stalkers.
Reddit, you can start a whole bunch of Reddit communities for anything. Like I can do Reddit pen collectors. I collect pens, right? Somebody started a subreddit called Reddit Incels. What does incel stand for? Incel stands for involuntarily celibate. So these people are all upset. They're all male, by the way. Most of them. If they're, I don't know. Most of them are male. They're all upset that they can't, quote unquote, get laid, right? So the reason why these people are so perturbed, I think is the correct word for it, is because they equate their self-worth with sexual attractiveness, and they don't have any. So instead of trying
Miserable.
to better themselves or to look at their situation from an alternate perspective, they bash women and they pretty much say that like women are only used for sex, and the fact that they won't have sex with them means that the whole system of attracting a female is inherently flawed, and it's just a huge woman bashing subreddit that got so bad that Reddit actually banned it, and it's no more.
And
you
Really?
can't find it on Reddit
Yeah,
anymore.
and isn't it also like I
There's
don't
gotta be
deserve you,
archives
but
somewhere.
you deserve me? Isn't it
yes,
something like that?
yes, that's a
Yeah.
big thing. The big thing
I
is
don't deserve you, but you deserve me.
Yeah, see how
does
crazy
that
that,
mean?
sounds?
right. It's just that
Exactly.
just being a man, I'm entitled to a woman. Period. So there's like zero effort put into any kind of courting process. They kind of want women to be distributed.
Or is it
like,
you don't deserve me, but I deserve you?
No, it's the other way.
Okay.
I'd say so. But yeah, it's really weird, and it's just a bunch of creepy people online. It's entertaining to read, I will say that. There's a YouTube channel that I recommend for anybody watching called Sorrow TV, where he goes through and he just reads like weird subreddits out loud, and he reads them in the voices of the people that post them. So a lot of this incel stuff and a lot of this nice guy stuff is like screenshotted text messages that girls are getting, you know? And like also just weird, really derogatory Reddit posts, and people read them out loud, and it, to a comical effect. You know, it's very ironic because what they're saying is actually pretty messed up, but it's so funny to see them be made fun of.
It'll be like, hey, beautiful, how you doing? Then 20 minutes later, they don't get a response. They'll be like, wow, I hope you die.
Yeah, it's like
it's like that.
crazy, dude. It's so nuts. Like they just get
it's
really out of
wild.
control. But
Or
it just
the asterisk community.
what?
The asterisk community.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
found that out about yesterday.
What? It's
Really
like all
funny.
cursing or what?
No, so you know how like back in the day when you asterisk in a message, it's as if you're doing the action.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's still like that, right?
yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
so
like,
it'd be like
face palms, asterisks.
yeah, like asterisk face palm, like I just face palm. So
Yeah.
there's just I think a Reddit community where it's just like people just getting screenshots of like people sending them messages in asterisks. And there was this one I saw yesterday. It's super funny, but if you really
Walks
it's
over to the
disgusting.
other side of the room, looks at you from afar,
Dude, it was like
glances away. looks again.
Yeah,
Walks over.
that's it.
Slicks hair back.
That's
Hey,
it.
baby, how you doing?
Yep.
Dude,
Waits
yeah.
for response.
So good.
Dude,
He nailed it. He
Dude,
nailed it.
that was it.
He nailed it. That was
Dude, but
awesome.
Just take that and times that by like vulgar of 1,000,000.
Right.
Like, and there's this one I was reading. It's
Like,
really
puts
funny.
on furry costume.
Ugh.
Touches
Furry
him.
just starts touching himself and stroking his inner thigh as he caresses his left testicle. Like, and just like, dude, this is wild.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, that is super disgusting for like women to receive messages like that, or men, or whoever gets it.
It's a sad situation,
Yeah,
man.
it
You
is
look at these
wild.
people and they're kind of out of touch, right? And I think
So's the red pill, though.
what
See,
is
what the hell is
The
the
red pill.
I know about the black
the
pill.
Matrix?
What the fuck is the black pill? The red pill.
The black pill is the whole incel theory that like you take the black pill and then you realize that like no woman will ever be untainted by Chad and you will never find like this person
the
that you're
red
supposed to be
pill
in
is
love
very
with.
similar,
Like,
and the red
it's
pill
just
is like
nuts.
the original one, which basically is like a women bashing forum that says
Yeah.
that like, you know, it's like a game theory board for dating, like
Okay.
a game theory of like women can be tricked into like dating you and having sex with you, and
Right.
you know they shouldn't be treated with respect. Like
No.
it's like a numbers game. Like
all
how many
tricks.
women can I get? And like, I don't know, dude. It's like it's pretty fucking wild. Maybe
It's
it's not
wild.
maybe it's not incel quality, but like it's still pretty
It's
interesting
wild.
to read.
incel quality?
And they have all these like, trust me, like I've done my research.
Me
they have
too,
like
man.
all
It's
these
fascinating.
They
to
have
me.
all these
It's
like
fascinating.
tenets of like the red pill tenets of like I don't know.
See, I think I'm familiar
I
with
want
that.
someone to do a study on the brain for that. Like to be like,
Dude, I think
how is
I
this?
think it's real simple, man. I think
do
it's
you think it is?
real simple. It's people that we're in an electronic age, man, where it's like we don't even communicate how we normally would. You know what I'm saying? So we take on this whole other persona, and then you combine that with this whole like I'm special generation that people are living with, where it's like I'm entitled to a girlfriend. It's like, well, you look like garbage. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. And I'm not saying like, oh, you're ugly. Like, no, you don't exercise, you don't clean.
you just kind of
you have
smell.
yeah, you have
It's
nothing.
a musk.
Right,
It's a
exactly.
musk that I can't really put my finger. It's a mix
It's a
between
smelly
It's
smell.
a mix between a Burger King burger and like chapstick.
And
Burger
Doritos.
King foot lettuce. You know what I'm talking about? Do you remember that video? You ever see that video?
No.
Hysterical.
But that's the thing, man. There's a whole entitlement culture going on, and it's also the thing. It's like, you know, I deserve, and just not knowing how to talk to girls, man. Like, you know, it's cool if you're not good at talking to girls, and there's ways to get better at it. But like, geez, dude, like these guys really just blow it. Like the whole asterisk
bro.
thing, where it's just like looks at you shyly. Like, I don't know, man. If
Don't
that's,
mock until you try it.
as I'm
man.
saying, if that's worked
Don't
for you
mock until
before,
you
then
try it.
more power to you. But sheesh, like you read some of these text messages and you're just like, dude, you're 0 for 4 with text. Just give it a rest, my guy.
Give up.
Yeah, but the best ones are it's like he's like, hey, how you doing? Then I'll say like 6 p.m. like, yo, what's up?
Slut.
See, yeah, exactly. It escalates. The third one escalates.
I don't wanna
always.
talk to you anyway.
Yeah, it's like you're
I hate
you're
you.
ugly anyways. It's like
I hate
Amounts
you.
to nothing.
right. How did you get past 18 and like
It's
not?
like I was
know how
at
to deal with
work.
that?
I was in class. Hi.
Yeah, that's always it. It's always like, sorry, I was like had a really busy day today, and then they're always like, oh, my bad. Like I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I
you're
was
beautiful.
And then they ignore that one.
Yeah.
That was my twin brother.
There's something funny
Took my phone.
about watching that. I've always had a theory that like it's fun to watch things blow up
Like train wrecks.
because it makes you feel better about your own life in a
Do
way.
you watch Trainwrecks?
Watch what?
Anyway,
Watch what?
Said Trainwrecks.
Oh no. Okay, I see. But yeah, no, it's I don't know. It's fun to watch socially awkward situations. I think that's why The Office is so popular. I also think that's like why there's such a huge obsession with Chris Chan online. Like, you know, I think that's really big. You guys know about Chris Chan, right?
no.
You don't know about Chris Chan?
I know 4chan.
You don't know about Chris Chan?
Enlighten me.
All right, we're about to go deep down the rabbit hole. This episode just be called like the dark web.
This is some IoT right now.
Bro, there's this guy on the internet. His name is Christian Weston Chandler, right? He looks like the comic book nerd in The Simpsons, essentially. This guy made a character called Sonichu, which is half Sonic, half Pikachu. And he made...
Is he fast?
This dude a
Dude,
furry?
Faster than lightning?
He zaps to the extreme, as stated in the first issue. This
Okay.
guy started making comics of this character, right? I'm not making this up, right? 27 years old, okay? Lives with his parents. Highly functioning autistic. And he's making these comic books. and people start like making fun of the comic books online. So he kind of mistakes these people as fans, and it sounds pretty sincere. It's like, oh, like don't mess with this guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, you start learning more about his life, and this guy is like nuts. So he's on this journey, right? He calls it like his mission in life to find a boyfriend-free girl. That's how he says it. So when he goes to college, he makes this sign like looking for a boyfriend-free girl, and like he sits out in like the actual like student area, bro. So if you read the sign, people have like taken pictures of the original sign. It says like no blackies. Like, dude, it's like the crazy. It's the craziest thing you'll ever read. Like, it's absolutely insane. So the dean of the college is like, "What are you doing? This is highly offensive, and you're not gonna do this on campus anymore. Take the sign away and just like get out of here." So like he doesn't listen. He keeps doing it. So like they have him arrested or something like that. And the dean of the school, his name is Mary Lee Walsh. She shows up in the comic as the main villain. What? So then you start to realize that the whole comic, which is online, is just about his life. And it's insane. It's like the deepest rabbit hole thing ever, man. Like, so people are trolling him online, and like the trolls call themselves like Pickle Man, you know what I'm saying? One of them calls himself Surf Shack Tito from the Rocket Power, and he makes them all villains in his comic. And dude, like his world just gets more and more complex. He never leaves his house. His mom and dad are hoarders. You just keep finding out more and more stuff about his life. And then darkness, right? So the big thing that he was getting trolled about is people were like, "Oh, you're gay, just like admit you're gay." And he's like, "No, I'm not gay. Like I love, you know what I'm saying? Like I love vagina." Like he's very, very empathetic about that. Like he never takes that as a joke, you know, where most people would just be like, "Oh yeah, like I'm gay." He never ever does that. He goes, he's like, "No, like I love vagina." He's like, "I'm on the search for a boyfriend-free girl." He's like, "So I can finally have my dream daughter named Crystal." Like weirdest guy in the world, right? Eventually, he just stops. And dude, this is after his house catches on fire. All this has been documented. Like his dad dies. All this crazy stuff happens to him. Stops. For like a year, it's completely dark. There are all these fans, man. People who have made Sonichu cartoons on YouTube, like making fun of his comic. Completely dark. Comes back a year later. Transition into a woman. Hold on. Whoa. Now what he does for a living is he modifies amiibos. You know, you can like take amiibos and like put clay on them and make them into something else.
No.
So he took like a Sonic amiibo and turned it into like a Sonichu amiibo. If you don't know who Chris Chan is, there's an amazing Chris Chan series on YouTube called Chris Chan, a documentation. It's a documentary of his life, all the comics, all the trolling, everything that's ever happened. It's insane. There have been like leaked sex tapes that were sent to his parents with him and a sex doll that he called like Officer McNasty. It's the craziest saga you'll ever read on the internet.
This doesn't make any sense to me.
It shouldn't, but anybody that knows what I'm talking about will just enjoy that rant I went on because it's incredible. If you're looking for an internet person that has more of their life and downfall out there exposed for all the world to see, there's none bigger than Chris Chan. And that's my whole point, is like, we like to see the freak show. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. I say we should try to help these people, obviously, but it's like a car wreck. It's like a train wreck. You can't look away. I recommend Chris Chan to both you guys, but you'll be deep in the rabbit hole. Deep in the rabbit hole, man.
If I'll be able to come back if I dive into that. That's a deep hole.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. I've been on the internet a long time, dude. I feel like most of my life has been spent on the internet.
Oh, dude, I just fell into a new hole this week, man. It's so funny.
Tell me.
You know Penn and Teller?
Yeah.
Remember them?
Yeah.
They have this TV show called Penn and Teller Fool Us. So they just bring on magicians around the world.
That's cool.
And they have to do their trick in front of a live audience in Vegas. And Penn and Teller just sit there and tell them in code, magician code, if they were fooled or not. And
really?
If they fool them, they get a trophy and appear on their show. Dude, I discovered this on Saturday. Spent hours on Sunday.
This sounds awesome. What is it on?
The CW. But I just go on YouTube and just watch it on there, dude. So funny.
Yeah?
Just there's and one dude who appeared on it actually just won America's Got Talent, like this week.
That's pretty cool, man.
So I was like, that's kind of wild.
Huh.
So I watched like almost 5 seasons worth in like 2 days.
Yeah, I can't get into reality shows, but that one sounds pretty cool.
It's just really funny because you just see so many different card tricks and like sleight of hand, like.
But the whole point is like to find out how they did the trick.
No, not find out how they do the trick because they never reveal how they did the trick.
It's to fool Penn and Teller.
So like, yeah, it's to fool them. So your trick is so good that these two magicians who have been in the game for 30 plus years,
they have no idea.
They have no idea how you did it.
Yeah.
And if you fool them, you're allowed to open for them for one of their Vegas shows.
I see.
So it's like a really good, like, you know, whatever. And I'm like watching some of them. I'm like, damn, how'd they do that trick? and then Penn and Teller will sit there and speak in code to the guy. They're like, oh, the trick they did was very shaking. And the guy who's on stage will be like, you're like, yeah. He's like shaking, and then that time in England in 1972 where the world was spinning.
This kind of sounds silly though.
No, but I'm doing
like
I'm doing a poorly emphasis of it.
It sounds like the whole audience is like out of the joke.
Right.
It's just
They're like, huh,
which
what?
is really funny because then the host of the show will be like, I don't know what he said, but did you fool them? And he's like, nah. He's like, all right, give it a round of applause.
Well,
and it's really funny.
See, what would be cool is if they had to sacrifice their trick.
Because what's the thing? They do the trick backstage in front of like Penn and Teller's like dude they've been working with for like 30 years. So he does the trick. So he knows, and then they go step by step. He does the trick for him, and so he knows how it's done, right?
Okay.
So then when Penn and Teller guess, that guy on stage, if he's not telling the truth, the guy in the back will come out and be like, no, he's right. He figured out your trick. And if they're spiteful, then they will reveal the trick. So far, no one's been spiteful, and none of the tricks have been revealed. Sometimes they'll come on stage and be like, oh, can we play around with it? And, like, to confirm their suspicions, they'll be like, oh, you had a second deck on you, didn't you? And he's like, nah, I don't have it. Then they'll be like, all right, he fooled us. We don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
Because, dude, they know, like, dude, I've watched, I don't know how many magicians in the past 2 days gone on there. And out of, like, let's say I watched 100, 15 have fooled them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So it's
interesting.
like-
Yeah,
that's
see,
like-
I'd like to watch this.
It's pretty cool. Just go on YouTube.
What's it called?
Penn and Teller Fool Us.
I'm definitely
You a
gonna watch
magic guy?
Me personally, I think it is such a cool skill, like, because it's very niche, like sleight of hand, all that.
it. Yeah.
Like, you can't really do it. Like, there's no point to have that skill unless you become super famous for doing it.
Yeah.
But when you see it done at a super high level, like, and then I'm like putting the YouTube speed at 0.25, rewinding
Yeah, to
it.
see it.
I'm like, dude, where did this happen at? And some of them are so good, it literally looks like magic.
To answer your question, Ryan, my favorite thing about magic is the adherence to what they think is naturally going to happen. So I love when a magician goes like, I knew you'd pick this one. Like, how do they know? You know what I'm saying? But, like, everyone always does. Like, I knew you were going to pick this card.
Yeah.
Like, that's the stuff I love, where they...
Like the
they-
mentalist
Yeah,
stuff.
they predict. They
Yeah.
predict, like, when this... Like, that you're going to do that. That's the stuff, like, I'm super interested in, like, reading people. Like,
Yeah.
of course, I had this card right here because I knew that'd be, like, the one you pick.
Yeah.
And, like, how do they recover if somebody doesn't do that? Like, if somebody
Yeah.
picks a completely different card, that's the stuff I'm most fascinated by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Like, dude, and there's there's two guys on there that like blew my mind. Like, it actually hurt my head. One of them.
Can you
called-
explain the trick or no?
Yeah. So the one guy, it's called a coin matrix. So he has 4 coins, 4 cards, right?
Quarters?
Like coins. I think they're like $half, right?
Okay.
So he puts them 1, 2, 3, 4 right
Yeah.
there, right? And so as he's placing a card down, it's really sly because I had to look this up because I'm like, how are these quarters moving? So as he's putting a card down to set them up, right? He's picking up the quarters underneath. So, dude, I don't know how he does it. They do it. They like pick up the quarter with like these 2 fingers like that while the card's facing over it. And then when they move it to place another card down, they put this card down and the quarter under it. And then so you're thinking that quarter's still there, but now the quarter's here. And like after the podcast, I can show you this guy. And there he's telling a story. Like you're listening to a story as he's doing it, and then you start like you're not keeping track anymore, and you're like, dude, where are these quarters coming from? Like, how are they getting to A to B to C to D? Like, it's just fascinating. I think it's really cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like deception.
Yeah.
Like to deceive like that, and then you're fooling 2 dudes in the business who have been doing this for years, and they're like, we were following you for a little bit, but after a while, we just gave up.
Mhm.
So you're that damn good.
Yeah.
Because like there were so many. And then he says during the middle of his set, he's like, so Penn and Teller, as he's doing the trick, he's like, so Penn and Teller, have you picked up all 13 techniques that I have used for this simple 6-minute trick? And then he finishes, and now there's like 8 chords on the table.
That's pretty cool.
And I'm like, yo.
There's more than they started with. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, it was wild. And they just appear out of nowhere. Like, he just goes like that, and now there's a fat one. And I'm just like, dude, what's going on? Like, and you're just like, damn.
I'm trying to think of a magic trick that I saw in person that like really stuck out to me. Do you guys have any where like
In
you saw it and you were
person,
I
like
haven't
physically?
really- Been around a lot of magic, I feel like.
Yeah.
One.
not like that.
My campus, I was freshman year in college. They had a magician come on, just like it was like a comedian magician, right?
Yeah.
So he did like a mentalist act, right? And he said everyone to pick something in their head, and he's gonna say it. Dude, I was like, I'm going Madagascar.
Right.
Didn't write it down. Didn't tell nobody.
Right.
I get pulled up there.
You get pulled up.
I get pulled up. There's like 6 of us in a line.
That's really interesting.
And then he looks in my eyes or something like that. I look in his eyes, and he says like numbers and stuff like this, and like repeat after me. Then he says, pick a card. Is your card this? I'm like, holy shit, yeah. He's like, is the place you picked the country? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you want to go to Madagascar, huh? And I was like, what? I was like, how the fuck you figure that out?
That's pretty cool.
But like, it's just shit like that is cool.
Yeah, man.
And then he did this one trick. I don't know how he did this. He went up to this girl and was like, oh, is this your card? Like, and she was like, oh, no. And he's like holding it like this in front of everyone. He's like, oh, what was your card? She's like, oh, it was a 9 of like diamonds. And it was like a 6 of diamonds. He was like, oh, hold on. And he just goes like this. And then you just see the 6 flip upside down. And then like a diamond comes out from under it. I was like, what the fuck? I was just like,
that stuff is pretty cool, man.
I'm like, I don't know, man. And like, I feel like it ruins it if I learn the how, because I could easily learn the how by just going on YouTube and type in the trick.
Right.
But I'm like, I just like the fact that
someone can do it.
Some dude can go into some place, but yeah, you want to see these 4 quarters turn to near 0?
You ever been hypnotized before?
I want to be. I don't think
Here
I
you have to be willing to be hypnotized.
I believe that.
Doesn't work.
I believe that.
Makes sense. Have you been hypnotized?
No, this is what I heard.
You ever been like a hypnotist show?
No,
They hypnotize people? I haven't been to that either, man.
I'm not really a magic guy.
I would never let someone hypnotize me, though.
I feel like Ryan would be in the audience, like they pull him up, and he'd be like, "Nah, you don't want me up there." It's like, "No, come on, Zayden. Trust me, you really don't want me up there." It's
What,
not going.
like they hypnotize me and have an alter ego, like
No,
That'd
they
be
try to
wild.
hypnotize you,
split.
and they're like, "Ryan, go to sleep," and you just be like not buying the trick at all, and
Yeah.
it'd just be really funny.
You gotta kind of play along, though. That's what
Yeah.
he's saying, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta kind of play to your subconscious. It's like listening to, like, something on tape and, like, really, like, listening to it and believing it. Like, you have to kind of give it credence. But I could never do it, man, because I would never let someone have access to my mind like that, dude. That's a little crazy.
Just unlock your key.
Like, what if someone was just like, all right, now pee on stage, and like you just pee on stage, you know? Like, that's too much power, bro. That's too much. I can't relinquish control over to a stranger. Like, I'd probably let a friend hypnotize
then
me.
you realize later on, you're
the
like,
friendly neighborhood magician.
Dude, there's no friendly neighborhood, nothing, bro. Like, unless it's
that
somebody,
don't exist.
I'd let you hypnotize me because I know you're
thanks,
cool. You know, you're awesome.
You
but-
think I am until I hypnotize.
Oh
you.
yeah, I forgot
There's
about
no
your.
telling what I'll
I
do.
forgot about your dual personality, the second Ryan that comes out when you're hypnotized. But no, man, I don't know, bro. Like, people that come up and volunteer for that stuff, like I've seen like shows like online when they come up and do it. If they're not planted, if they're actually people in the audience, like how do you just be like, yeah, I'll be hypnotized? Like,
those are the ones that are hard to trust when you don't know if someone's a plant.
always, man. That's why,
Always.
like, when Ryan asked me, "Are you into magic?" I didn't say yes right away because I'm like, dude, some shows I'm at, it's just like, how do I know that guy wasn't backstage with this person? Like, I'm not that impressed. I'm impressed more with, like, quote unquote street magic. You ever seen the dude that like poured like a drink out of his hand? Remember?
I remember that, yeah.
Dude, that stuff
was
was
like some
that stuff was
bum-looking
crazy.
dude.
He's like he was like light skin powers. Remember that guy? I'm not sure I've
Yeah.
ever seen him. That stuff was cool. I was like,
And
that's
then
awesome.
Then he had it in his hand, went like this, there's nothing. Then he went like that.
Yeah,
and it all
yeah.
came
That
out,
guy,
and I
that
was
guy.
like, what?
That stuff I like. But
Yeah.
like when I'm inside, I was on a cruise ship and I was on a cruise ship magic show, and it's like, oh, the great Rinaldini. I'm like, what is this? A Saturday morning cartoon? And like the stuff is fun, but
Yeah.
it's just like, I'd much rather see some like street tricks, dude. That stuff is cool.
Yeah, shoe magic is dope.
Plus, I'm not good with cards either. Like, I could probably never do a card magic trick. That takes so much like mental capacity.
I have to be probably like a magician's worst person to do a trick with. Like,
Same. I'm
you
always
just
afraid I'm
remember
gonna
card?
mess it up.
Is this your card? I'm like,
Yeah, dude,
It might be.
I'm like that too. I'm always afraid I'm gonna mess it up
because
Like,
they do so many tricks,
Dude.
Because they do so many tricks. I get fascinated in the tricks, and then
Me
they're like, "Is this
too.
your card?" I'm like,
maybe.
What?
Yeah, that's it.
"Yeah." And then
It's like
I'm
the 7 of clubs you saw for 1 second, and you're like, I guess, and then you like ruin the trick.
The one trick I don't know how they do. Like this dude, he pulled up his sleeves like this, had a pen, showed everyone a pen, then he just went like this. Like you see nothing in his hand, he just went like this. and it was gone. And I'm like, how? Like, how does that happen? Like,
Maybe,
shit like that.
Maybe it was an inflatable pen. You know what I'm saying? So like when he went like that, he just scrunched it
But
easily.
he was tapping it and it was making like tapping noises. Like, unless there
maybe
was,
he was
like,
making it like this. Like he was just making it with his
Yeah.
mouth closed.
Bro,
You gotta think about that.
I'm about to debunk all these videos tonight. About to watch all these videos again.
I like ventriloquists, man. I think they're pretty cool.
That's a skill.
Like Jeff Dunham.
Yeah, dude. That stuff is awesome.
That's a skill.
That stuff is awesome, man.
That is hard to do because I know we all tried doing it when we were younger.
I try doing it still, man. I just think
Just
it's
to throw
interesting.
your voice.
You just gotta talk with like your mouth like moving as least as you
Yeah,
possibly
but it's
can.
enunciating the words is the hard part.
That's true. But
You
like,
know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
that's the hardest part. Not being able to use your tongue or your lips.
But it all depends on the volume and tone that you're speaking too.
Well, a lot of these guys also have microphones, so it makes it easier too.
That's the big key there.
Yeah.
The key is just trying to say as much as you can with by moving your mouth the least. Like that's how you train it. But to see it in action is so amazing, man. Like it's just
Jeff
so cool.
Dunham's early work, you could see like it was really,
Mhm.
you know, like that. But his new stuff, it looks like his mouth is like completely shut.
It's awesome,
And
man.
I'm like, damn, that's sick.
It's so cool.
That's sick.
I don't know. I admire people that have hobbies and skills that are just to amuse people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just to amuse
Bro,
other
that's
people.
why I bang with the sleight of hand stuff because like it's just to amuse. I'm like, dude,
Right.
like that's sick.
It's just to amuse.
And I'm way too clumsy with my hands to be doing all that.
Same, bro. Like I'm a butterfingers, man. Like I can't catch anything. Like I'm so enraptured by people that can do like card tricks and
I
stuff
just
like
think
that.
I just like to tap, so I don't. My fingers aren't still enough. You know what I mean,
Right.
if that makes sense.
I get shaky hands. You guys ever get that?
Probably hungry, bro. That's a lot of it.
That happens to me too.
Yeah, you're
I have
probably
a
just hungry,
Snickers and
man.
I'm good.
Get the shakes. Wow.
Dude, that happened to me the other day, on my birthday, on Friday. So I had a shitty lunch at work, and I'm just starving, and I'm tired. I want to go home, go to sleep. Right. I think that's another testament how I got really drunk. I just did not eat well,
Right.
and I got trashed. And dude, I was like shaking when I got to the house. I'm like, dude, I need to eat something.
Right.
But then I got distracted. Then the shakes went away, and then drinking, and then I'm not even worried about it. Then I got French fries later, and I was like, fine, but it was French fries, so that really didn't do anything, and I threw up the French fries.
Oof.
But
What's the longest you ever went without eating? Did you ever go a day without eating?
yeah, I went
Nah.
pretty close.
I love food.
Really? You never went a day without eating?
I must have, but I don't know.
I have.
I can remember.
When I was a lifeguard, sometimes we missed that breakfast.
You were out in the sun? Not. Ooh.
I went the whole day.
Dang.
I think I got home at like 8:39.
just went to sleep.
Oh, I ate as soon as I got home, but
No, I'm saying you haven't eaten for 24 hours. I've done
Oh,
that before. It's
I don't know if-
miserable.
if I have done that, it was definitely when I was flying.
Did
Yeah.
you do it for a reason?
No, I think I was just too busy and I just didn't eat. And I
Yeah.
was like, what the heck? I remember as I was going to sleep, I was like, I didn't eat anything today.
I think it happened when I was like flying. Like I had a connecting flight that was like very short time, so I didn't eat on the plane, didn't want to pay for on the plane, and I think it just happened like that.
Yeah, man. It's tough. It's tough just not to eat for one day. Like imagine not drinking anything.
When you're
one
like
day.
busy, it's real easy.
Yeah, when you can distract yourself. If not, you give into the headaches and your stomach hurts or whatever. But
That's the one you gotta ignore. The stomach aches, I can ignore that, but the headaches,
headaches,
that's almost a game over.
dude. When I was in grade school, I just needed to have a snack on deck. Like my mom wrote a note to the teacher, like, "Yo, he gets hungry, he gets
He
headaches."
gets cranky.
You know what it's also.
Yeah, so I had
it's also
apples in
from
class.
too. All that processed sugar we probably eat, and then
That's
when you
true,
don't
man.
have it, then you're just
I do my
fucking
best.
lapsing.
I do my best to cut that out. Like
I try, but it's in everything.
it is, and also the best stuff has it. So I just say the weekends are for the sugar, and every other day, man, we just roll with the peanuts, bro.
Even my issue is that I'll eat great for the week, and then the weekend comes, and I'm just like eating the shittiest food, like takeout, whatever. Like I'll eat great all week, Monday to Friday.
My vice is pizza.
Oh yeah,
Dude, they have this stuffed cheesesteak pizza at Fairmount Pizza where it's like,
like a stromboli.
dude. Okay, so here's what it is. It's like your typical pizza
Yeah.
circle, whatever you would call that.
Right.
But it has crust on the top, crust on the bottom, and just cheese and straight up cheesesteak in the middle.
Sounds like cardiac arrest.
You
Sounds
get
like
two.
build
You can
up.
get two slices for
Sounds
$8.
good.
Cheesesteak stuffed crust.
Yeah, dude, it's banging, bro.
Yeah.
That's my poison right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
It's the best of both worlds. You get a cheesesteak and you get a pizza, like a plain pizza plus cheesesteak crust, like
Bro,
what?
How tired are you right now, dude?
I'm just like
You work today?
I did work today, but that's beside the point. Like I'm thinking about cheesesteaks and pizza together.
You're kind of tired though, bro. What's happening?
What do you mean?
I don't know. You seem tired, man.
I just want a cheesesteak and
Are you
pizza.
Are you just hungry?
I might be.
Should we end it?
I might not have eaten for 24 hours.
Come on, bro.
I'm joking.
Come on, bro. All right, should we end it?
It's up to you guys.
Trying to think. Any music? Oh, there was something we were talking about earlier. Music-wise, I forget what it was.
You said someone's new album came out, but it was a rapper's album. It was Lupe Fiasco's new 24-track
Fire.
Yeah.
You play Fiasco dropping an album?
Yeah, Drogus Wave.
I know
Slaps.
Brockhampton just dropped an album, which is pretty good.
I didn't like the last one.
Really?
I liked the first one. What's their trilogy
Like the last
called?
song or the last album?
Album.
With like rental on it?
I forget the name of the album, but it had that guy's face covered in blue.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
I like the one before it though.
The guy's face covered in blue.
Can't remember the
Yeah.
album name. I can check.
But he
it
just
right
recently
now.
came out with another album that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like his work a lot.
All
Are you
30
still
of them.
doing the 365 days of song?
Yeah, and he's on there.
Did you miss any days so far?
No, not yet.
What?
I mean,
Wait,
I haven't
wait,
been
what is
posting on
this?
Instagram. Like, I went to South Africa, and that really fucked up like the Instagram post every day.
The
But
timing again.
I'm still adding them. every day.
Saturation 3. I like Saturation 2. I didn't like Saturation 3.
Okay.
Dude,
Oh, there's a new
I
one.
can't wait till this
Get rid of
playlist
this.
is done. You only have a few more months, and then it'll be
I
completely
know it's
done.
crazy. Like, you know, like I'm thinking of the first song. Like, I look back on the first song I added. I'm just like, that was this year. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it like blew my mind.
Isn't that crazy?
What is
It's-
going on?
So I made a playlist. I started in the beginning of the year. Like, one of my resolutions was that I'm gonna make a playlist on Spotify. I'm gonna add one song every day, and just like see what the playlist turns into. And dude, it's been a lot of fun, honestly. But like I was looking at the first song recently that I
What was it?
posted.
Do you remember?
All Night by some, I don't even know what the dude's name is. Honestly, I found it on Spotify, but
So are they like
listen
indie
to the
songs?
listen to the playlist and you'll know.
give me the playlist name.
It's 365 days of 2018. Nothing crazy, like, you know, super generic probably, but yeah, like, I was just like, this is from this year. Like, it just feels like a billion years ago, because like I went from 2 different jobs like this year.
Well, a lot happened for you this year, man.
It's been a crazy
in
year. A
life,
lot has
yeah,
happened.
in
I mean,
life.
for the world too, but
and yeah, for the world.
you know,
as
it's
well.
just like, and it's weird because like as I play some songs, I'm like, I remember exactly what I was doing this day. I remember exactly how I was feeling this day.
wow.
I'm like, it's strange that I've attached a memory to that song.
You're making me want to do this, man. This sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm about to try it.
And they're very like simple memories. Like,
found
it's
it.
nothing like profound about
yeah,
them.
you were just
but-
like, yo, today's the day I went to the boat and I was on a
All
whatever.
Night by Wretch, Lean and Neck.
yeah, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So
man.
are they all? Is it just like
all genres.
random songs
All
that you find,
genres.
or is it like mainstream songs? Like
yeah, how are you
it's
picking it?
So it's like I've had people help me. I've had people send me songs, like just give me recommendations. I've, you know, recommended songs to other people. I've used like the New Music Friday playlist on Spotify.
I love Spotify.
Just stuff I've like listened to. I'm just literally like, I'll listen to something. It's happened to me in South Africa too.
So
I
many
listened to
songs,
something and I was
Jesus
just
Christ.
like, what the fuck is this song?
Yeah.
And like I just write it down right away, or I
Oof.
try to Shazam it, or
Your
like,
most recent song, I think that's your most recent by Denzel Curry, Black Balloons.
yeah, I was listening to that today too.
Song.
Great
Slaps.
song. Great song. But yeah, I mean, I've been trying to be diverse with my additions too. But you know,
R.I.P.
I do have a lot of songs from like certain artists just because I've been really into their work this year.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to listen to it all once it's done.
You actually gonna listen to it?
Yeah, dude, the whole thing.
Yeah, dude.
It's gonna be awesome.
Thanks, man.
That'll be like a year-end wrap. That should just be like
Dude,
wherever I am
man,
New
dude.
Year's, I'll just put that on. Just have the whole
I
thing
want to
play.
see how many hours it is, and then I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I mean, it must be like 8 or 9 hours. at
3
this
minutes
point.
per day,
I'm
essentially.
gonna no. What I'm gonna do is, as it gets close to the end of the year, I'm just gonna hit play, just let it run all the way through up until I'm gonna time it up until it ends midnight. This December 31st.
I wonder if by the end of it, it'll go a full day. Let me actually.
I can tell you right
What's
now.
the last song gonna be in this 365 day?
I don't know. It might not even be out yet.
Right
That's the
now,
fun part.
right now you have 16 hours and 28 minutes.
Sheesh. And I have a few more months to make that into 24. Wouldn't that be?
If you need any help to put any in there, I got some off the top of my head.
Yeah, guys, if you got music, send me it. Send
me
me
text them to you?
send me the Spotify link,
I'm all
the share
Spotify,
link.
baby.
The call is
'Cause,
out. If you have a song that you'd like to hear in Ryan's playlist, send it and he'll listen to it.
Yeah, send it to the Andrewcast Instagram account or our
.org.
YouTube account or
Twitter.
whatever. Any way you want to get in contact with us,
Yeah.
if you send it to me, I will listen to it, and if I like it, I will add to the playlist.
That's really cool, man.
But yeah, I mean, I would love for you guys to do that because I'm literally looking everywhere and anywhere for new songs.
Even what about global songs? Like even songs that aren't in English, you'll take them.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of songs that aren't in English. I have a few.
Got you.
He don't discriminate.
I have
I got you.
I have a few songs that are in Spanish.
Despacito by Justin Bieber.
No, not American Spanish, but yeah, I don't know. I can't wait. You're
Rompe
making me
by
excited
Daddy
because I
Yankee?
can't wait till it's done now.
16 hours. That's a lot, bro.
It's got to be it's like 200ish songs at this point. 260, I
Think
think.
you're at 200?
It's like 260 something.
Wow, we really only have that much
Wow.
of the year left.
Yeah, isn't that
Damn,
crazy?
I'm counting the days down till New Year just off the strength of his
Yeah,
playlist.
we have a
That's
little
crazy.
bit less than 100 days.
Doesn't it bother you how fast time is moving?
Well, I don't know, dude.
I
It
just
hasn't
turned
felt-
25, bro. Of
I
course
feel like it
does.
hasn't felt that. It felt fast, but it also hasn't. Like I said, the first song I added onto this playlist, it feels like a billion years ago. Literally, I'm just like, I can't believe. I feel like I was so different even in the beginning of the year.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like I just
How
feel
so?
like I don't know. I was just in a different place in the beginning of the year, and I, was like hanging out with different people at the time and doing different things, working different jobs.
That's real.
Just like going through the motions of life, but looking back at it now, I'm just like, wow, like a lot has happened in this 1 year. And like, I don't know, it's like I wasn't even noticing because I was so busy like doing things like adding new music. I went to fucking South Africa this year. I went to Colorado and hiked the Rocky Mountains this year. I went through 3 different job transitions.
Yeah.
I
God damn.
really focused on doing this podcast with you guys.
Dang, you make me sound like nothing.
I've been studying Spanish, and now I have conversations with people in Spanish. Like I've been doing a fucking lot.
Yo, you
know?
glowed up, bro.
I'm not glowed up.
You glowed up, dude.
But I've been doing interesting things with my time, at least. And that's
I need to get crunching.
It's going. That's what I'm saying. I'm listening to Ryan's life. Like
And
he's
you
had
know-
an incredible 2018, bro.
I think
Phenomenal.
literally adding this activity of adding a song every day really helped me with just like keeping on a schedule and like doing something.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
There's
as,
something
as
you do
small
every day.
as small as it is,
Dude.
It's like I made sure I did it every single day.
I agree with you, man. If there's something you do every day, it helps you get into a routine.
Rhythm.
It could be anything, just like picking a song every day. That's super sick.
Do you do it in the morning or at night?
Like whenever I have time.
Do you
Literally.
add more than one song in
No.
a day?
No,
Just
I
one.
thought about doing that, but I'm just like, no, I want it to be 365 songs.
There are rules to this game, man.
Yeah, that's the only rule. I mean,
Yeah.
everything else is like any genre.
It's the
If I
Wild
don't
Wild
like
West
it,
out here.
I don't like it, I'll let the people know that send it to me. Like, yeah, like I just wasn't into it. Like, thank you for sending it to me though.
Spotify about to cut him a check as a curator.
Yeah.
And
You know what the crazy thing is? I found a lot of like very small artists
oh, cool.
that like I realize aren't like either they aren't on Apple or they have very few followers, and like I think some of them are fucking amazing. It just goes to show that there's a lot of talent out there that doesn't necessarily get the spotlight it deserves.
That's true.
To play on that, Spotify also announced, I think they're doing a slow rollout of they're making it very easy for independent artists to upload their music directly through Spotify instead of a different source or third-party source that takes a price percentage, or you have to pay X amount to get your song through them, which then would upload it to Spotify.
Good. Maybe that'll help with the artists that are getting gypped.
I just hope
Well-
they curate it like they do iTunes. Otherwise, it's going to turn into like the new SoundCloud, If you
Yeah.
search
See,
on
but that's-
SoundCloud,
but
so
at the
much
same
stuff on
time-
there.
But
There's money
Spotify
behind
already has a
Spotify.
backing and it already has licensed songs on it.
Bingo.
SoundCloud is just
Does
like
not.
any song anywhere.
Well, it does
and
have,
they don't
it does
have-
have license.
Yeah, if you have
can buy
SoundCloud
albums
Go,
from
yeah, you can get that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that came out.
I
this
just
year,
know
last year.
SoundCloud rappers.
Yeah, bro.
There's a lot of them.
Oh yeah, but
They're out here.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess if Spotify is more of an open market. That's awesome. First thing I'm going to do tomorrow is look to see how we can get this on there.
I think
So,
it's
yeah.
10 times easier now because they actually have an integrated podcast section.
Dude, let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Spotify, look out for us, please.
Yes.
Who says let's get it? Let's get it.
Let's
Lil
get
Pump?
it. Lil Pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lil Pump.
Yeah, we had a deep conversation about all of
Dude.
that this week.
R.I.P. Mac Miller.
Crazy. We didn't even really
I don't think
talk
we were
about
here
it.
for that.
We talked about it a little bit on the podcast.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't know.
We talked about it with Alexa.
We did. We
You
did.
weren't here for that.
Yeah, I was working.
That was a good
like
episode.
Fucking madman.
It's her birthday today, actually. Happy birthday, Alexa.
Alexa, Ross, happy birthday. Thank you for your incredible stories. But yeah.
No,
Not you,
not
Alexa.
again.
Dude, that happened last
Alexa.
time. That happened
Jesus
last
Christ.
time.
Alexa, like the Amazon Alexa, shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Did you see the light just like
That's what I thought. The
Little
light
bitch.
went out. She shut up.
You're a
She's
nice,
not talking.
nice guy, her.
No, I did the opposite of nice
You did
guy.
nice
her.
guy here.
Now she wants to move in with me and start a family.
Wow. Yo,
Is
there's
this,
a little darkness going on
Is
with
this her?
Ryan.
Is this Joaquin Phoenix? Is her? Great movie.
Crazy, man. All right. Well, I think that's it. I think we're pretty much all talked out. It's 10:09. Like 2 hours.
Great house episode.
It
I
was
love-
a great on the house
I
episode.
love house episodes.
You gotta come up with the title for me because we don't have a guest. Remember, we're doing titles now.
Kingdom Hearts, Spider-Man. Kingdom Hearts. Or no. Kingdom Hearts is the new Star Wars.
We're gonna do Andrew
Spider-Man the Incel.
Andrewcast episode 45. Are you a nice guy?
Yeah. That could be it, man. That could be it. I think it's 44. Yeah, it's 44. This has been Andrewcast episode 44. Thank you for tuning in. I guess we're all tired and talked out, and this is the end. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Late.
Yo, yo, yo. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Andrewcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your attention. Before we get into the content of today's episode, I definitely want to get into our sponsor that I've been so graciously gifted, Roast House Coffee, located in South Texas. Now, you may be saying, Andrew, I'm not a coffee person. You know, I like tea. I like drinking tea and honey and throw a little bit of milk in there. You know, I'm trying to live my life. Look, I understand you're trying to live your life, okay? I understand you may not be a coffee person. I wasn't either until I got me some Roast House coffee. Now, Roast House was gracious enough to send me Liquid Thunder. Liquid Thunder is a fan favorite in-house blend made by the Roast Coffee House. It combines the bold, smooth taste of dark roasted Colombian coffee beans with a subtle hint of chocolate to top it off. You can't beat it, bro. Let me tell you a little bit more about Roast House. The Roast House is not your ordinary coffee shop. They roast freshly imported coffee beans from all around the world, in-house daily, located in Brownsville, home of the brave, putting work in the street like a slave, Texas. Our mission is to bring the taste of the world into South Texas, one bean at a time. From popular flavors to in-house blends, we serve all natural, preservative-free coffee, espressos, teas, and other beverages. Homie, come on into our shop and enjoy a fresh cup of joe or take some bean grounds home for your loved ones. So come get a fresh cup of joe or come take some beans to go. You heard it here first. Take some grounds home for your loved ones to enjoy. And for those not living in South Texas, don't fret. Don't even worry about it. We will be launching an online store soon for coffee lovers across the world. you too will be able to taste coffee done right. Listen, folks, if you want some coffee, you want some high-grade stuff, you don't want to mess around with the Starbucks, right? You don't want to mess around with the Dunkin' Donuts. You don't want to mess around with the Wawa. You don't want to mess around with the McDonald's coffee, all right? You want to go straight to the house, the Roast House. Baby, Roast House coffee. Look it up online. Look it up on Instagram. It's the newest. It's the latest. Thank you so much for sponsoring my podcast. Everyone enjoy today's episode. Love you.